Fan of movies, TVs, and sports, check out their links down in the description below. Go check out their channels. And guys, thank you so much for all your support towards the channel. It goes a long way. It means a lot. And it does not go unnoticed. So thank you so much. Tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live, the Avengers films, Secret Wars, and whatever the fifth one's going to be called, may have just gotten their directors, and they are familiar faces to the MCU. Chris Duckman's directorial debut film, Shelby Oaks, just got a massive piece of news that we're going to talk about. And Kevin Costner's Horizon, which didn't do so great in theaters, may have found a new home with Netflix. All that and more tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live. You're here, I'm here, so you know what? What are we even delaying for? The show starts right now. Welcome, guys, to tonight's community night live Q&A. It's just you and me, and we're hanging out on our channel. Love these nights. I look forward to them all the time. Before we get started with our live Q&A night, though, I've got to thank our super chatter from last week's episode, or I guess 2 episodes ago, the Ace Avenue, guys. Ace has been such an incredible supporter. Ace has been such an incredible friend and channel member, and just all your support, Ace, has been incredible. Thank you so much for all that you've done for our channel. And if you guys haven't already, I highly encourage you guys to go check out the Ace Avenue. He does movie, TV, sports, all that you can think of. He's got spoiler reviews up for Deadpool featuring yours truly, Kenny Sparks, our guy T, the whole bunch. It's great. He's got a movie review for Deadpool. He's going through the Fox movies at the moment. He just did X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was a hilarious review to watch. So great job on you, Ace. So yeah, guys, he's got sports, movie reviews, a whole lot. So go check out the Ace Avenue. And once again, Ace, thank you so much for the super chats, for all the support towards the channel. It goes a long way and it means so much. Guys, head on over to the Ace Avenue. You won't regret it. And congratulations, man, on crossing 1.3 thousand subscribers. That is remarkable, my friend. All right, guys. With that said, we are going to just talk. We're just going to talk all night. I see in here already, we've got a comment in here asking, are we allowed to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers? And I will say, originally I was going to do a Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler review for tonight, but I just figured, I don't know, it's Wednesday after the weekend has been out. Everyone's kind of already done spoiler reviews, and I'm pretty sure most of our folks here, most of our community have either already seen Deadpool and Wolverine or are already off the internet because they haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. They've also announced all the cameos at Comic-Con. The cameos are all over Twitter. Everyone kind of knows about it. So I am going to say, and I'll give a fair warning to everybody here, if they haven't seen it yet, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler discussions are allowed in the chat. I think most of us have seen it. I think those who haven't seen it are avoiding all the chats and avoiding online still anyways. But yes, to answer that question, I will allow it. I will allow Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler discussions. And fair warning to everyone in the chat, Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers could pop up if you have not seen the movie. So I appreciate all you guys being here. I already see some of you guys in here. How do you guys like having the chat up in this little corner here? You can kind of see your questions coming in. I think it's a cool little thing. But while we get questions coming in, while we have you guys chatting away, I'm going to get to all the comments and questions tonight as much as I can anyways. But before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit about some big news that dropped over the weekend. So unless you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet and you're still off the internet, or you just saw it last night and you're finally back onto the internet, welcome, by the way. Great to have you back. Comic-Con happened on Saturday night. At least Marvel's Comic-Con panel happened on Saturday night. And for the most part, I would say the panel was fine. I was checking in on Twitter, periodically. Nothing really huge was dropping. I'm sure if you were in Hall H, it was an amazing night. I mean, if I was in Hall H, they got the cast of Captain America coming out, Thunderbolts. They had the cast of Fantastic Four comes out. I bet it was one of the best nights of your life. It would have been the best night of my life. Don't tell my wife that. But it would have been great if you were at Hall H. But sitting at home, reading the Twitter feed, seeing what was coming in, it was pretty lackluster. And at one point, I decided to stop following Twitter and go visit my folks. And the minute that I left to go visit my folks, I immediately had to come back because Marvel, despite having said that they were only going to talk about 3 movies that night, Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, they decided to drop some bombshells. Bombshell number one, the Russo brothers have returned, and they are doing Secret Wars. Now, we've talked about this a couple weeks back. We talked about the rumors and the confirmations in the articles that the Russo brothers were returning to the MCU. I think it's a good move. I think it's the right move for Marvel at this point, and for the Russo brothers, to be quite honest with you. On top of that, they also announced bombshell number two. The Russo brothers aren't just coming back for Secret Wars, they're coming back for the 5th Avengers film as well, which is titled Doomsday. Doomsday is our Avengers 5 title, obviously referring to Doctor Doom, and even more obviously made because they dropped bombshell number 3. And bombshell number 3, Doctor Doom will be played by none other than Robert Downey Jr. And the minute that came out, not only did my head explode, not only did I get super hyped, you can watch me in real time being hyped. We did a live stream for about half an hour afterwards talking about it. I was reacting to the video of Robert Downey Jr. on stage. It was a marvelous, magical time, but I was also very frazzled. I was also very in the moment, and now that I've had time to kind of collect my thoughts, listen to the internet chatter, listen to everything going on, I thought that we would just break this down. We'd have a little fun discussion talking about the pros and the cons of Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. At least these are my thoughts and opinions and pros and cons of Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. And as I like to be positive, I want to end on the positive note. So let's start with some of these cons first. These are 5. They aren't all of them, but these are 5 of some of the cons that I can think of Robert Downey Jr. coming to play Doctor Doom. And the first one of those cons for me is going to be, obviously, they're going the non-traditional route. Now, this is not the classical origins of Doctor Doom. Now, after the panel, I do think that it was confirmed that Robert Downey Jr. is not playing a variant of Tony Stark. He's playing Victor Von Doom, the actual Victor Von Doom. Whether they're going to put him in prosthetics, what are they going to do with that, I don't really know. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are still going to see this as an Iron Man variant. I still suspect there's going to be some kind of variant play in this. So we're getting a non-traditional Doctor Doom. And one of the disappointing things about having a non-traditional Doctor Doom is, of course, the fact that Doctor Doom has not been done that well in the past. We had him in the Tim Story Fantastic Fours. We also had him in Fant4stic, Josh Trank's attempt. And it just never really panned out the way that a lot of comic book fans have wanted. Now, granted, I will be full disclosure here. I'm not that knowledgeable on Doctor Doom. I don't know everything about Doctor Doom. I've read very little stuff. I'm in the middle of reading Infamous Iron Man because a lot of people started talking about that once this news got dropped. So I understand the comic perspective of this is non-traditional. This is not the route that a lot of people want to see Doctor Doom going, especially when we have yet another chance, and this time in the MCU, to get this character right. And the fact that they appear to be going the non-traditional route with this character, I can see why that would be a little bit disappointing. And I will admit, there's a little part of me that's like a little disappointed with that too. All right. Moving on. Con number 1, non-traditional. The other con I have here is been there, done that. And what I mean by that is we just had 10 years, 10 fantastic, marvelous years of Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU. I have loved him as Tony Stark, Iron Man. I've loved everything he's done. I don't think he has a weak performance in the entire MCU. And I know I'm not alone in that. And it is cool to think that we could get we are getting Robert Downey Jr. once again in the MCU. I like that they're not going the easy route of doing an Iron Man thing. They're giving him a new character, seemingly a new character. That's the way that I prefer seeing Robert Downey Jr. If he was going to come back, this is how I would want to see it happen, and this is what's happening. But there's also that thing of, you could have given another actor a chance to do Doctor Doom. We've seen Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU for over a decade now. We've adored and loved him as Iron Man. Does he really need another character to chew up the scenery with? You could have gotten another actor, a new face, a new exciting talent in the MCU, and you're kind of going back to the well with a great talent. We'll talk about that a little bit later. A great talent, but at the same time, it's still a talent we've seen before. It's someone we spent a lot of time with and recognized already as a beloved, iconic character. So for that reason, there is a little bit of me that's kind of like, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom could be really cool, but at the same time, what could someone else have done? What could they have done with a new face in the MCU? All right, so we got non-traditional. Been there, done that. My next con, it's gimmick casting. It is 110% gimmick casting. Now, this is not a shot at Downey. This is not a shot at what Robert Downey Jr. has done in the past with Iron Man, what he's done since. I like to call him Dr. Doom Little now. Just a little fun little thing there. But you can't deny getting the Russo brothers back to do Avengers, getting Robert Downey Jr. back into the fold of the MCU. It's a gimmick. It's cheap excitement in a lot of ways because we love the Russos' previous work. So just having them announced as the directors of another Avengers film, instant. That is instant excitement amongst the fandom right there. On top of that, you add that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. Yes, he's not coming back as Iron Man per se, but the fact that he's coming back at all into the MCU, into the fold, that right there creates instant hype just based on who it is and what it means. And so while this could be great casting, and we'll talk about some of the pros in a minute here, I do see this as a gimmick. This is a quick and easy fix, so to speak. I've seen a lot of people use the word desperate. I won't go that far. I won't say desperate, but definitely a gimmick. All right, next up, it's a backup plan. And I can't get over this fact. This is probably the one that has me hung up the most because, as we all know, this was not what Avengers 5 was supposed to be. Doomsday, Avengers 5 was not supposed to exist. Kang Dynasty was supposed to exist. The Kang story was supposed to go on and perhaps crescendo with the Avengers films. And due to personal stuff that happened in life and fan reception, they had to cut those plans. They backed out. They didn't do it. Not only did they not do Kang, but the Russo brothers were also not the original plan for these movies. Destin Daniel Cretton originally had the director's chair for Avengers Kang Dynasty. We also had other writers. I mean, I think it's fantastic that McFeely's coming back to write for this. I love the writing that him and Marcus McFeely and them did in the other movies, Captain America Civil War, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. They killed it. I'm really excited to see that at least one of those pairings coming back to do this. But this was not plan A. This is not what they originally had in store. They did not have in store Doctor Doom. They did not have in store Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. We were supposed to have Jonathan Majors as Kang. We were supposed to complete the Kang storyline, and due to unfortunate circumstances, that storyline got cut short, and then they had to go to plan B, maybe even plan C, and they came up with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Which brings me to my final con before we move on to our pros. They're rushing an icon. This is one of, if not the most iconic Marvel villains in all of comic book history. There is so much love for Doctor Doom as a Marvel villain. This is a villain that deserved treatment in the MCU. He deserved build-up. He deserved time to get established in this universe with this audience and then have a huge moment where he takes on the Avengers. We've got Fantastic Four coming next year. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with Doctor Doom in that movie. Is Robert Downey Jr. going to be added to the cast? Is he a part of that movie? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that Doomsday is coming out in 2026. This movie comes out in 2 years. These movies have to shoot for like a year and a half, post-production, all that kind of stuff. They need to get rolling on this ball quick in order for them to hit that date of 2026. So there is no time in between these movies to build up Doctor Doom. So what do? You get a face that's recognizable, someone who's already beloved. You can play off the fact that he was Iron Man, now he's a villain, and now you've got Doctor Doom. And there is a little bit of disappointment that he's coming in 2 years with no buildup. He's just going to come in an Avengers film. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't be great. I mean, technically, Thanos had little appearances here and there throughout the MCU, but his big debut was Infinity War. He really only had one singular movie, and he became an instant beloved villain. So could this happen with Robert Downey Jr. and Doctor Doom? Absolutely it could, but I can't get over the fact that this is indeed rushing. This is rushing Doctor Doom to the screen, and there's a little bit of disappointment in that as a fan. So these are the 5 cons that I can think of. There's tons more, and I'm sure you guys have a lot more as well. But con, non-traditional, been there, done that, gimmick casting, a backup plan, rushing, and icon. Now, with all the negativity out of the way, let's get to the positives, shall we? And we're going to start with this positive. They have gotten a great actor to play Doctor Doom. Now, yes, we talked about how this is Robert Downey Jr. He played Iron Man. He made Iron Man beloved. We've been with him for a decade, but there's no denying the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is now an Academy Award-winning actor from Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer we saw last year. He has such chops, and to see this guy get to be a hero for 10 years and now seemingly for 2 Avengers films get to turn the heel, turn bad, it is really exciting at the aspects of what Robert Downey Jr. could bring in his performance that'll be so different from Iron Man, yet still have the charisma perhaps of Robert Downey Jr. that makes him such a screen presence. And just to see Robert Downey Jr. get to play a villain, get to play in the same sandbox but as a different role, there is something that's instantly exciting to me about that, because this guy has such talent, and I'm really looking forward to seeing his range and what he can do in this universe. So they've gotten a great actor, and I don't think anyone can deny that they've gotten a great actor. Another thing this does is it's kind of a yin-yang storytelling, whereas it is kind of poetic in a way that we've just had 10 years of Robert Downey Jr. as a hero. We've watched his hero journey as Iron Man, as Tony Stark, for 10 years over the course of, I think, 6 or 8 movies, and it ended, his story ended as being the hero of the universe, of the multiverse, some would say. And so now to see that same character, or at least the same actor, depending on how they do it, it's all in execution, to now see that character who we've beloved for so long and has saved the world, now to see him go on this journey of destroying the multiverse and becoming the greatest adversary to the Avengers he used to be a beloved part of, there is something, depending on how it's written, depending on how it's executed, it could be really compelling and really great stuff. It could also be super emotional stuff, and that is taking us to our next pro. This actually, for me, has a lot of emotional weight, because as we've talked about, they don't have time to build up Doctor Doom. They don't have time to do a Doctor Doom traditionally how they would do a Doctor Doom. But what they do have time to do now is have the Avengers have to deal with the fact that their hero on Earth, their buddy Tony, who they called friend and fought alongside, they now have to fight against his face and come to the realization that this is not Tony Stark, if that's the storyline that they decide to go down, which just the possibilities of that get me a little bit choked up in my head. I mean, Tom Holland's Spider-Man having to come face to face with his mentor and deal with the fact that now the face that he looked up to is the one he's going to have to kick is something that I think could be really, really powerful. If they get Thor in there, one of the OG Avengers, Hawkeye in there as well, and they see this face come off Doctor Doom's mask, because I'm assuming Doctor Doom, again, non-traditional, is probably not going to wear a mask all that much, since you're paying Robert Downey Jr. like $80 million to do this role. You're going to want to see the face. There is something that could really tug on the heartstrings, that could really work about that dramatically and tragically. And that also brings us to my next pro here. And that's going to be, where am I at? That's going to be this. Why can't I find it? Oh, here we go. Oh, it's all gone. There we go. Making variants matter. At least to me, this is making variants matter, because as the MCU has gone into the multiverse saga, as they've introduced the whole concept of variants, for me, the variants have been, let's be honest, and this is no different, they're gimmicks. You get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back for Spider-Man No Way Home, which I love. I'm not bashing that at all. I am so very happy that that exists. But they used the variants thing to bring back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. In Deadpool and Wolverine, we've seen some variants come back to bring back old members as well. Loki, he was a variant. They just used that to bring Tom Hiddleston back into a TV show. They haven't, to me personally, they've never done something truly compelling and interesting with this whole idea of variants. But now that you have taken one of the pedestals, one of the biggest players of the Avengers for the past 10 years, and now you've made a variant of him that's going to potentially bring a lot of emotional weight, that's going to bring a lot of traumatic elements to the story. This is a way to take the variant idea and do something super compelling and interesting with it. And if you're going to do a variant of anything, doing a Tony Stark evil variant is one that perks my head a little bit. Now you've got me a little bit curious about your whole variant situation going on. So we've got great actor, yin yang storytelling, emotional weight, making variants matter, and for the final one here, I'm gonna take myself off screen for a quick minute. For the final one here, connecting narratives. It's no mystery that the past few phases of Marvel have not had that cohesive storytelling that the previous 3 phases appear to have had. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that these stories don't really tie in. They don't really bleed into each other as much as they used to. And going into these next Avengers films, up until this point, there was really nothing about these upcoming Avengers films that I feel were getting fans that excited, because unlike Avengers films in the past where there were storylines that connected and led up to each one of them, we haven't had that in these previous phases. But what you do instantly by bringing Robert Downey Jr. back in a villain role is you connect this now to the rest of the Avengers films. Now that we've got a character who is, or at least someone who played the character, seemingly playing a different version of this character, again, all about execution, how they do it, you've now got connections to Endgame, you've got connections to Infinity War, and you've got connections all the way back to the first Avengers films, and that kind of, in some ways, fixes Marvel's narrative problem where nothing feels like it's cohesively connecting anymore. And all of a sudden, with this one casting, with this one idea, it goes all the way back to the beginning of the MCU and it connects it all in one through line. Again, if the execution is done right. Now, obviously, guys, these are not... Obviously, guys, these are not all the pros and cons that could be there for Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom. These are just the 5 that I've chosen. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Dr. Doom being played by Robert Downey Jr.? Do you share some of these pros and cons? Do you have pros and cons differently? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions on that, guys. And with all of that said and out of the way, let's get into your live comments and questions. We're just going to take your live comments and questions now, guys. It is community night. Let's see what's going on. Let's see who's in here. We got to go all the way back up to the top. We got Film Review Central. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. He's saying the legend himself on another live show. Very close to 100. Very close to 100 shows. Yes, I see. Have you got any ideas on how to celebrate 100 episodes of Zach Milne Talks Live? I've got some ideas rattling in my head, but I also think I'm going to have a lot of time before I get to 100 episodes, because there's a lot happening right now, and I'll make a little bit, I guess, of okay. I'm officially moving next month. I'm officially moving, so it has been kind of hectic with figuring everything out about the move and everything, and packing and whatnot. So this is one of our last times in this set. The set, we're gonna have a whole new set. It's going to look different because it's going to be in a new place. I'm very excited to get it painted and put together. I'm really, really excited for the move and everything, and just to have a new chapter to this channel that we are bringing. And one of the things that is going to come with that, I think, is I don't know how often I'm going to be able to do Zach Milne Talks Live in August. I'm not saying I'm never going to do it in August, but there is a good possibility that this might be one of the only times I do it. Well, it's not even August. It's July 31st. I may do it like one more time in August, but I don't know. August is pretty full for me with the renovations of the new place and going back and forth and work and everything going on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do Zach Milne Talks Live in August. We'll be back in September, like at least early September, if we don't do anything in August. But I will let you guys know formally and officially if we don't do anything in August. But there's a good possibility that we won't, just to let you guys know. But yeah, so 100 episodes, maybe a little bit further away, maybe in like November, like mid-October maybe, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. That's all I can say. Michael11591, what's going on, dude? Thanks for joining us, saying hey. We got the Ace Avenue. He's been a member for 6 months, dude. Thank you so much, man, for thank you so much, man, for being a member for 6 months. Members Talk Live, I've enjoyed doing the show with you immensely. Every Saturday morning has been a treat, and I'm so honored to have you on, man. And speaking of Ace Avenue, sending in a $5 super chat as well, man. Thank you so much, dude, for all of your support on this channel. He's saying, "What's up, Zach? Does it feel weird to have a Deadpool and Wolverine behind us? We have been preparing for it all year, and it finally happened." Yeah, yeah. No, honestly, I've been kind of having that feeling of like the anticipation was so big, and it built and it built and it built and it built, and now it's just kind of over, and we've plateaued. And I am feeling a little bit sad. I am feeling a little bit sad. There's not much else I'm looking forward to this year, to be honest with you. I mean, Alien Romulus looks wicked. I mean, it looks gnarly. I saw the newest trailer when I went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. That thing looks insane. That thing looks gory and bloody as all heck, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, but I will be there. I'm seeing Alien Romulus. I'm so excited for that one. Other than that, there's not much else that like immediately gets me excited. Like Beetlejuice looks like it could be fun, kind of cool. I'm still nervous because it's Tim Burton. Not the biggest Tim Burton fan, especially of recent memory. What else is coming out? You got Venom 3. I'm like, maybe we'll be good, maybe won't be good. Joker 2 I'm pretty excited about, actually. So Joker 2 is probably like my next anticipated movie now that Deadpool and Wolverine is behind us. But yeah, there's not much else that I can really think of off the top of my head where I'm just like, I cannot wait to see that. And it does it feels weird now that I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine. It does feel weird to be able to say I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine. It just doesn't feel right. This Ace Avenue says, I've been watching nothing but Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's media tour for the movie. Those two are hilarious together. I've been watching a lot of those too. I watched them on Hot Ones, which I thought was great. I watched their lie detector thing. I watched them host, was it Jimmy Kimmel or was it Jimmy Fallon that they hosted and took over the show? I don't know. But they're great. They're great. On screen, off screen, they're fantastic. I've been enjoying watching their media tour and interviews and all that kind of stuff almost as much as I enjoyed watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Dakota Man Movies, what's going on, Dakota? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Says, now that Deadpool and Wolverine is behind us, what movie are you looking forward to for the rest of the year? Well, there you go. Joker 2. I think Joker 2 is my answer for that. Nathan trying to movies. What's going on, Nathan? Saying, hey, Zach, how would you rank the 3 Deadpool movies from worst to best? I would go Deadpool, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Deadpool 2 is my favorite. Deadpool 2 is your favorite. All right. Interesting. I would go Deadpool 2. Oh, well, it's hard because it's such recent memory, and I think the story in Deadpool 2 I enjoyed more than the story of Deadpool and Wolverine, to be honest with you. But I laughed, I think, more in Deadpool and Wolverine than I did in Deadpool 2. And just the chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Deadpool makes up for, or not makes up, but definitely beats everything that was in Deadpool 2 for me personally. Even the X-Force scene, which is easily the best part of Deadpool 2 for me, is that X-Force scene. But other than that, I'm going to go from worst to best, Deadpool 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and then that first Deadpool movie. I think that first Deadpool movie is so clever in its simplicity. We've got reviews for all these. The members and I, Members Talk Live, we did rewatch reviews for both Deadpool, or all Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Logan, and we also talked about the cameos mostly of Deadpool and Wolverine. So if you guys want to get further thoughts about Deadpool, Deadpool 2, and all that stuff from me and the guys, go check out Members Talk Live. We got a playlist, and we've got the rewatch videos in there, so definitely check those out. But that's how I would rank them off the top of my head. Nathan Red Movie says, thoughts on the trailers for Transformers 1, The Penguin, and Joker 2. I apologize. I've not seen them. I've not seen The Penguin. I just never got around to it, and I just kind of want the show to come out. I had no interest in Transformers 1, so I had no interest in watching the trailer, but now I'm hearing, like, decent reactions coming out from early screenings, so now I'm like, crap, am I gonna love Transformers 1 more than I like Deadpool and Wolverine? What's going on? No, I'm not interested in that, so I haven't watched that trailer. And then Joker 2, I don't recall there being a new trailer, so I did not see it. I must have missed it. Dakota Man Movies says, Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars are releasing way too soon. Marvel has so much stuff to do until those movies come out. They need to be delayed. Too many post-credit scenes unresolved. I think there's a lot of post-credit scenes that's not ever going to be resolved. I think you'll see that Hercules thing get resolved at the end of Thor Love and Thunder, but I don't think you'll see that till Thor 5 in like 3 years from now or whatever. I don't think you're going to see anything with Kang. I really don't. I think Kang is done. I don't think you're going to see anything from him. I don't know where Ant-Man's going to stand, to be honest with you. But I do agree that, and again, that goes back to them kind of rushing Robert Downey Jr. and Doctor Doom. They've only got 2 years. They've only got 2 years till the next Avengers film, and they're getting this big villain, and they're going to have to get some of these heroes. They've already confirmed that Fantastic Four will be a part of the Avengers, so I assume that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom is going to somehow appear either in the post-credit scene or somewhere in the Fantastic Four movie, because it does take place in a different universe. They established that. It's like this futuristic 60s setting. So they've got to do something with that Doctor Doom that Robert Downey Jr. is playing before Avengers. But honestly, I give it like, I'd go as high as 65% that Avengers Doomsday gets pushed to like 2027, and then Avengers Secret Wars gets pushed to 2027, because that's something that, or 2028, because that's something we didn't talk about either, is they want to get Doomsday out in 2026. So that's 2 years from now. They also want to get Secret Wars out by 2027. They want to do the Infinity War Endgame back-to-back 1 year apart with Secret Wars and Doomsday. And I just don't know if they're at the place of confidence and just organization like they were before, where they're going to be able to pull that off. I really don't think that they're going to be able to. So honestly, even though they've announced Doomsday 2 years and then a year after that Secret Wars, I think you see Doomsday get pushed a year, and maybe Secret Wars gets pushed a year, or maybe even 2 years, or maybe Doomsday does come out and Secret Wars gets pushed 2 years. But they're ambitious, and their ambition has pulled off and worked out for them in the past. Not so sure about this time though, so we'll see. I do agree with you though. Dakota Man Movies says, we also don't know who the Avengers are. We at least need a movie about them jumping into the next Endgame. I will be honest with you. I honestly don't agree with that. I don't agree with the whole, we don't know who the Avengers are, so why are they doing an Avengers movie? I think Avengers, Doomsday, whatever it's going to be, or at least when it was Kang Dynasty, this is what I thought. I don't know how they're going to do it with Doomsday now, but I think the next Avengers movie is when you establish your new Avengers. I think the Avengers, I think we'll find out information in Captain America, Brave New World. I think there's going to be information about the Avengers and where they stand politically and all that kind of stuff in that movie. But I think your official, this is now our Avengers team, is going to be in the Avengers movie. I think whoever pops up in the Avengers movie, maybe there's someone who's like, hey, this new threat, Doctor Doom, we need the Avengers, and if we can't have the Avengers, we need to become the Avengers, which honestly I could see Kamala Khan maybe doing that, maybe leading that charge. And then I know that would kind of make it seem like you'd get young Avengers, but I think you could still get I don't know. I think there's a way to do the Avengers Doomsday where you establish your new Avengers in the Avengers movie. I don't think they need to be established. I don't think they necessarily need to be established outside of the Avengers movie. Dace Avenue's also sending in a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Saying thanks again for popping on the channel. It was fun. Dude, the honor was all mine. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for joining us every week on Members Talk Live. It's been a treat. Trev's Movies, what's going on, Trev? Are we allowed to talk Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers? Yes, I've confirmed that yes, you are good. Nathan Dreader Movies says, what have you seen for the first time recently? I saw M. Night's Avatar. I'm so sorry. Bike Riders. I really liked Bike Riders. I never got around to doing a review, unfortunately, but I really liked Bike Riders. For Your Eyes Only, is that James Bond? Glass, Twister, Twisters, Long Legs, and My Spy 2. Wow, My Spy 2, man, you're a trooper. I've seen all of those except, honestly, for Long Legs and Twisters. And I haven't seen all of M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar, so I'll put that in there too. I haven't seen M. Night's Avatar. I think the most recent thing I watched was Twisters. I haven't really watched anything, to be honest with you. I've been, I don't even know if I've been busy. I don't even know what I've been doing. I don't know why I'm not watching anything, but I guess life's just happening. Things are going on around me that just happen, and I have not, honestly, I've been slacking. I'll be honest with you, I have been slacking on my watchings of TV and movies, and I apologize, but I've been slacking. The newest thing I've watched is Deadpool and Wolverine. Saw it twice. 80s Given the 90s, what's going on, 80s Kid? It says, hey Zach, Doomsday. Look, with all the talk that we've said, all the pros and cons with Robert Downey Jr., I will say I'm very excited for Avengers Doomsday. I'm very excited for the Russo brothers to be back. I'm so excited to see what the team is going to put together once again. And Robert Downey Jr. also said that he wouldn't come back to the Avengers movies unless it was done by the Russos. So maybe that was also a way to get Robert Downey Jr. to come back into the fold. I don't know, but I'm here for it. Collective Movie Man, what's going on, dude? Says, hey, Zach. Well, hello, Collective Movie Man. Thanks for joining us. Scottish Geek Guy, we've missed you, dude. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you in here. Saying howdy, folks. Good to see you back, man. Hope you've been doing well. Age Gift from the 90s says, I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, because we're all dudes. Sorry, Zach, I had to do it. Yeah, I get it. You guys, you love that good burger. You love that good burger. I have not seen Good Burger 2, and I don't think I will. Nathan John Movie says, I highly recommend checking out Longlegs. It became my favorite movie of the year thus far. You know what? This isn't Longlegs related, but you made me think of this. I am so disappointed because I went onto my movie theater app because I was really excited to find out that in just 2 days, August 2nd, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap comes out this weekend. I'm like, oh, Trap is coming out? That's awesome. I'm going to go watch Trap. I totally want to see that. My theater's not playing it. They've opted to do more screenings for Deadpool and Wolverine than bring a new movie in like Trap into the theater. So, no review from Trap for me, guys. No review from me, unfortunately. Very sad. But no, I've not seen Longlegs, but I've heard great things about it. Dace Avenue says, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Of course, man. Of course. I appreciate you. HK from 90 says, have you seen the first set photos of Skeleton Crew? No. Look, I say it all the time, but I have no faith in Skeleton Crew. I have no faith in the Disney Star Wars anymore, honestly. I think my faith with Disney Star Wars was wounded with Book of Boba Fett, and I think that it was killed with Obi-Wan, which got worse for me on a second watch, to be honest with you. I didn't think Obi-Wan was too bad. I liked the Vader and Anakin stuff that they did, but on a rewatch, watching that thing again, oh, it's a disaster. Besides the first episode and the fights between Vader and Obi-Wan in the last episodes, I think that whole series is a disaster and a huge missed opportunity. A huge wasted missed opportunity. It makes me upset. So ever since then, I've had no faith in Disney Star Wars. Now, my faith could have been restored. It could have been restored, and it was looking like it might have been restored with Acolyte. Womp womp. That didn't work out. I did not like Acolyte. I did not like Acolyte like at all. I think the only thing I liked about Acolyte, literally the only thing I liked, were the action sequences, because the choreography in Acolyte was done very, very well. There's no denying that. Didn't like the characters, didn't like the story. I really did not like Acolyte. It's my least favorite, I think, of the Disney Star Wars shows they've ever done. So coming off of these, except for Andor, I think Andor was Andor was easily the last Disney Plus Star Wars show that I loved. I didn't really care for Mandalorian Season 3. Book of Boba Fett was a disaster. Obi-Wan was a disaster. Acolyte was trash. Skeleton Crew, I have no faith. I don't think it matters who's behind the camera. I don't think it matters who's behind the director's chair, who's coming up with the concept. They just find a way to butcher it. They just find a way to ruin it. And I hate saying it because John Watts, I loved his Spider-Man trilogy. I'm so thankful to him for giving us everything with the Spider-Man and No Way Home and everything. But Skeleton Crew, I'll give it a shot. But it's got to win me over. Star Wars Disney Plus has got to win me over at this point because I have no faith in them. No faith at all. So even if I saw something super cool in the set photos, if Obi-Wan Kenobi himself was in the set photos, I wouldn't bat an eye. I can't. I just have no excitement. There's no excitement there for me anymore. And it sucks to say because, oh, man, when they announced Disney Plus, man, when they announced that we were going to get live action MCU shows with the movie casts in the show, like people forget about how unprecedented and huge that was back in 2019, 2018, whenever they announced that stuff. Same with Star Wars when they said we were going to get live action Disney Plus Star Wars shows. Like that was mind blowing. And Mandalorian came out and it was great. And it's been downhill ever since, in my opinion. And it's a shame because I'm not excited anymore. Travis Movies says, I somewhat think I've sunk low with what I decided to start doing on my channel. Blu-ray unboxing videos. I mean, they're easy to make and I buy a lot of movies, so why not? Hey, look, the most important thing, man, it's not about whether or not you've sunk low. I don't believe in that. You've sunk low. If you enjoy doing it, do it. If it's fun for you, if you like showing off your Blu-ray unboxing videos, then you show off those Blu-ray unboxing videos. Don't let anyone stop you. There are people there who want to see. Even if you only have, 20 views, 30 views, or some people get discouraged by that, those are still 20 and 30 people that wanted to see what you had in your unboxing videos. So unless you yourself really do not like doing it and you're only doing it because you think it might be popular, then I would recommend, if you're not enjoying it, don't do it anymore. No one's forcing you. But if it's something that you like doing, you've not sunk low, man. You found your thing. You found your high. So yeah, you have not sunk low, man. I hope you enjoy doing them. I really hope you enjoy doing them. Nathan Dread Movies says, favorite cameo in Deadpool 3, mine is Human Torch, but Channing Tatum's Gambit is a close second. Channing Tatum as Gambit was probably some of my most consistent laughs in the entire movie, because I've followed the development of a Channing Tatum Gambit movie for years, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have too. Like, for years it was talked about Channing Tatum wanted to do it. Channing Tatum almost did it. He had a he told I think it was Variety, like a couple years back, when the Disney and Fox merger happened, they were going to make it. He had offices set up. They were in development for his Gambit movie was finally happening. And then when the Disney Fox merger happened, Disney pulled the plug and said, no Gambit movie for you, Tatum. And it was so soul crushing for him, and I followed that story for the whole time. So when he showed up as Gambit and he's talking, and Deadpool, all of the dialogue he had, all of the things that Deadpool said to him were all about how his movie never got made. They call me Gambit. Do they call you that, or do you just really, really want them to? Like, I was the only person laughing in my theater during those moments, because everyone else in my theater, I guess they were casuals, they just didn't, I don't know, I'm over their head maybe, I don't know, maybe they just thought, well, this isn't very funny, I don't know why, but I got every single reference. I loved it so much. I thought it was great. But Human Torch, I think, was my favorite cameo too, because not that it wasn't unexpected, but it was kind of like, if I had a dream scenario of who would I want to see in a Deadpool and Wolverine Fox kind of movie in the MCU, it was Chris Evans' Human Torch. I thought that the way that they did it worked really well. The reveal of him, plus it was just, even though he wasn't Captain America Steve Rogers, it was so comforting to see that man screen again in the Marvel movie. When Chris Evans' face popped up, I just felt at home. I just felt like, this feels right. This feels good. And then I thought the whole setup of, he's going to say Avengers and flame on. And he just flamed on. Like, I thought it was perfect. I thought it was great. I even thought when Pyro came and sucked all the flame out of him and he fell and crushed his nuts, I thought that was great. I thought the slapstick was great. Not the biggest fan that they killed him. I think the way that they killed him, like, for the joke, wasn't funny enough to me personally to justify the fact that now in my headcanon, Johnny Storm from Tim Story's Fantastic Four is eventually going to die in the void by getting his skin ripped off. Not my favorite thing to think about, but I think it was my favorite cameo for sure. Trev's Movies says, well, in that case, Blade. Yep, Blade was also, that was probably my biggest jaw drop, was Blade when Wesley Snipes walked out, because it's notoriously known Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds do not get along. Wesley Snipes does not like Ryan Reynolds. They had a terrible time on Blade Trinity together, or at least Ryan Reynolds did, and Wesley Snipes was frustrated with the production and everything. So I had no indication at all that a Wesley Snipes was going to pop up in this movie. Not even like any rumors of him. Maybe there was rumors out there, but I didn't see any rumors of him being in Deadpool and Wolverine. And he was the one that I thought, there's no way you'll ever get him. There's no way. There's no way that they would ever want to get him because of the bad experience, and there's no way that he would be welcomed back or even want to come back. And they did it. They did it, and they made some great jokes out of it as well. I don't like you. You never did. I thought that was all great. Scottish Geek Guy says, I think if you're on YouTube right now, you have to accept the high likelihood of Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers. Dude, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Every time I open Twitter, it's just Deadpool dancing the bye bye bye, which I do not complain about. I love that moment. That's probably my favorite opening of all the Deadpool movies, and that was probably my favorite part of the entire movie. That and the car fight was amazing. But yeah, that's why I don't really feel like we need to not talk about spoilers. I feel like everyone who's in the chat has YouTube channels where they talked about Deadpool and Wolverine already because it's the biggest movie. And if you like talking about movie news and Marvel and all this kind of stuff, you've probably seen Deadpool and Wolverine by now, or you're still trying to avoid the internet because of spoilers. So there you go. I think it's totally fine. Age Guy from the 90s says, Fantastic Four looks great. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. I did see they had like at Hall H, for people that were there, they showed this like rehearsal footage of the cast coming together, which I did watch the leaked video of on Twitter. So it was kind of cool to kind of get that first glance, and yeah, I mean the cast came out on stage. They looked good together. I thought all the artwork looked kind of cool. I'm super stoked to see the Fantastic Car back because we haven't seen the Fantastic Car since Rise of the Silver Surfer, and I don't think the Fantastic Car was done horribly in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, but it's been a minute since we've seen it, and I like the aesthetic. I like the direction that they're kind of going with the look of it all, the artwork. So yeah, I'm excited for Fantastic Four. Trev's Movie says, anyone else get Madonna and NSYNC stuck in their head for the last week? NSYNC for me. Bye, bye, bye to him beating up all those TVA agents with Logan's bare bones was amazing. I mean, whoever wrote that, bravo. Because you took an idea of Deadpool digging up Wolverine's grave that I was so certain they were going to do in this movie, and you took that to an even higher level than I thought you could go. And I thought it was glorious. The 8th Avenue says, next year, all Zach members should assemble at San Diego Comic-Con next year. Let's make it happen. Dude, if you pay for my plane ticket and my ticket to the to the convention, let's make it happen. Dakota My Movie says, no one in my audience had a reaction to Elektra. Me neither, man. No one. Look, Elektra was the one that I knew for sure because Variety, like a year and a half ago, confirmed that Elektra was coming back for Deadpool and Wolverine, which was kind of the first indication that we were like, ooh, Fox characters are coming into Deadpool and Wolverine. But Elektra's movie isn't beloved. Like, before Deadpool and Wolverine, even after Deadpool and Wolverine, you ask someone on the street, hey, Jennifer Gardner, did she ever play a superhero movie? They probably would be like, no, probably not. Who's Jennifer Garner? Well, I mean, probably not that far, but some people would. But yeah, no, Elektra, she's not really that beloved, and I definitely don't, like, love her from Daredevil, and I don't love her from Elektra, so, yeah, same thing for me. No reaction. I was just kind of like, oh, Variety was right, and then no one in my theater even batted an eye, as far as I know. The biggest reaction was Blade. That was the biggest reaction. That and Chris Evans. Nathan John Movie says, you know what sucks? My dad was going to take my family to Comic-Con because it's only 1 to 2 hours away from our house for vacation, but I said no because of fear for Deadpool 3. Spoilers! I feel stupid now. Oh, dude. I feel like, I feel in retrospect, you should have taken the spoilers. But in the moment, I get it. But honestly, like, yeah, man, I feel bad for you because I honestly don't think the Deadpool 3 spoilers were that grand for you to have missed that. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. Trev's Movie says, the opening credits to Deadpool and Wolverine might be one of my all-time favorite opening credit moments. Me too, man. Me too. Bye, bye, bye. I love NSYNC. I'm a big boy band guy. I love that song, and the way that they used it in this was just phenomenal. Dace Avenue says, even though I do think it's a Hail Mary and a desperate attempt by Marvel to bring back RDJ, I'm still all for it. I can't wait to see Holland's reaction to seeing him. And then 80s Kid from 90s follows that up with Mr. Stark. Who's this Stark? My name is Dune. My name is Doom. Yeah. See, that's the thing is, like, I have those things, too, where the possibilities of what they could potentially do dramatically with the themes and in the context of this established Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, the comics are one thing, but this established Marvel Cinematic Universe is another. And having the characters who've already interacted, loved, and then lost Tony Stark to now have to face his face again as the villain, there is something that executed right, and the fact that they got one of the writers back from Infinity War and Endgame gives me very big, high hopes that they will execute it right. There is some great dramatic tension that can happen from that, and I'm really looking forward to it. Dakota Man Movie says RDJ was paid over $80 million to play Doctor Doom. The movie hasn't even begun filming yet, and it's going to be an expensive movie. Oh, heck yeah, man. This is a movie. Look, I don't even want to think about the budget. I don't even want to think about the budget for this movie because they are putting everything, all of their bets, into this decision and into this movie. Because honestly, before this decision, before bringing the Russos back, when it was just Kang Dynasty, you got Destin Daniel Cretton and all that stuff directing it, I wasn't sure if the Avengers movie was going to break $1 billion. Because they haven't done a great job building up this new cast. At least the new cast, most of them are built up on Disney Plus. No one's really watching all the shows over there. So the audience isn't as enamored or like endeared by with the new cast as they were with the original Avengers. And I wasn't sure how the Avengers was going to do. I wasn't sure if I was like, this is the first Avengers film that could probably just max out at $800-900 million. Like, people may not come out to this like they did for the previous Avengers movies. But now that you've got the Russos, now that you've got Robert Downey Jr., which you know You know he's going to be a huge selling point in the marketing. I do think Avengers Doomsday will cross that $1 billion mark. But this movie alone is probably going to cost, you got $80 million for Robert Downey. You've probably got like close to the same for the Russo brothers coming back. So you've got like maybe $200, let's say, in just those three people alone. Then you've got to do the production. Then you've got to do the other cast members. How much is Chris Hemsworth going to cost if you want him back? How much is Jeremy Renner going to cost? These other people how many characters are you going to have in this thing for 2 movies? It's probably going to be a pretty big cast. This is going to be a hugely expensive movie. And yeah, I would not want to be looking at what they're asking budget for wise if I was Bob Iger. I'd be like, oh, this Avengers movie better kill it, Kevin. This Avengers movie better kill it. Because that's going to be huge. Travis movies, Flame On. Yep, that was such a great moment. Dakota Man movies, why is Thor crying? Yeah, that was a good gag. I don't know if that actually has implications because I'm pretty sure, I saw the movie twice. I'm pretty sure that was just the scene from Dark World of Thor holding Loki, but you took out Loki and you just superimposed in a Deadpool. I don't know if that's actually going to be like that's a scene from Secret Wars down the line or something. I just think it was a funny gag, and I thought it worked really well. Nathan's Venom Movie says, it feels like a desperate attempt to get people interested by casting Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom for me. I won't go so far to say desperate. I've seen that word around a lot, desperate. I do think it's a gimmick. I do think it's something that is just trying to feast off of people's nostalgia and love for Iron Man. And it's like, we killed Iron Man. We don't want to touch that. We don't want to touch Tony's sacrifice. But we also would kind of like Robert Downey Jr. to come back to the MCU. What could we do? What if he was the villain? And what if we marketed him as the villain and then people would come for Robert Downey Jr., but we don't have to ruin Iron Man's legacy? Does that work for everybody? Does that work? Yeah. $80 million? That seems like a good price RDJ there. We'll give $80 million to have this nostalgia bait. So yeah, I don't know if I'll go as far as to say desperate, but I will say, yeah, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick for sure. Age Gift from the 90s says, Doom is Doom. He's the GOAT. He's the villain of villains. Yeah, people love Doom. Travis Movies says, suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. That was such a great moment where he ran off camera and just smashed the cameraman's camera. I thought and pulled the boom mic down. I'm going to Disneyland. I thought that was so great. As much as this movie tries to be an homage to the Fox universe, which I think they do the best in the end credit scenes when they're doing the whole montage and playing Green Day over the footage. I think that was the most nostalgically emotional I got in the entire movie for Fox. As much as they want to be an homage to Fox, that was a pretty intense dig at Fox, even when like Fox isn't even around anymore. It's kind of funny. Nathan Jen Movie says, that's what Scoutmaster Kevin used to say. Yep, little callback to Deadpool 2. I thought that was pretty fun. Ace Avenue says, I think Cillian Murphy could have made a good Doom. That's the thing, right? Is Cillian Murphy could have been a great Doom. I liked when people were throwing around Henry Cavill as Doom. That would have been another fun thing to see him go from playing Superman to playing Doom. What's really funny is there was what's his face? I'm gonna forget his name now. But the actor who played the villain in Doctor Strange, oh man, it's on tip of my tongue and I can't get it. He was rumored to be Doom at one point, and people were like, Mads Mikkelsen that was his name, Mads Mikkelsen. People were like, Mads Mikkelsen can't be Doctor Doom. He was already the villain in Doctor Strange. You can't do the same character. And now they've done that to the most extreme that you could do it by having Robert Downey Jr. play Doctor Doom. So there's no reason why Mads Mikkelsen couldn't be Doctor Doom. But yeah, Cillian Murphy, Mads Mikkelsen, Henry Cavill, they all would have been great new faces in the MCU and great to see as Doctor Doom. And I do lament a little bit that we probably won't get that. But I also don't expect Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom to be the Doctor Doom long term. You know, like they're good. I think Doctor Doom's a villain they might want to have around for a while. And I don't know if Doctor Doom is going to be played by Robert Downey Jr. beyond these 2 Avengers films, or beyond Doomsday. I'm pretty sure they'll want him for Secret Wars, so I'll say the 2 Avengers films. But after that, I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. is going to want to stick around for 10 more years in the MCU. I think these are 2 movies that he's going to be a big part of. And then they'll probably do something more traditional with Doom after that. Michael11591 says, I'm looking forward to RDJ as Doctor Doom. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do, man. I think it's going to be either a really, really brilliant move or super messy. Super messy. Those are 2 options. Dakota Man Movie says, I'm fine with our Robert Downey Jr. Not a go-to choice, though. Yeah, not a go-to at all. It was pretty shocking. Age Gift 90 says, I was supposed to get my favorite supervillain, R.I.P. Kang. Yeah, look, I do feel bad for those who are liking the Kang storyline. For me, I thought Jonathan Majors' performance was working more than the character's writing and the storylines involving him. I think that he was a very intimidating presence. I loved He Who Remains. I loved his turn in Quantumania. Jonathan Majors was doing some really great stuff as Kang. But there was a lot of casual people in my life who go to these Marvel movies, and I was talking with them, and Kang wasn't working. The example I always go to is my wife. My wife is the most casual movie fan you can find. She is the most casual MCU fan you can find, and Kang was not working for her. The whole multiverse stuff isn't working for her. She didn't like Loki. I think she's kind of bowed out of the MCU since Loki, because the TVA, the multiverse stuff, it just got too much for her. And I don't think she's alone in that. I think a lot of people were feeling that way. So I feel bad for people who are fans of Kang. Obviously, he's got his fans. And obviously, I feel bad for Jonathan Majors. Just a terrible situation all the way around. But, you got to move on. What's done is done. Maybe we'll get Kang down the line again. Maybe they'll go for it again. Maybe they'll try to attempt it. But for now, it looks like he's done. Dakota Man Movie says, I like the Kang storyline. I hope they find a good way to wrap it up before Doom. Dude, I already think they already wrapped it up. The end of Loki season 2, they kind of showed that Loki kind of defeated him, got around his, got a loophole. Now he's ruling the multiverse. He rules it, and they were kind of hunting down Kangs left and right. They kind of took care of the whole problem at the end of Loki season 2 in one line of dialogue. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do anything with him. The Ace Avenue says, biggest reason I have faith in this plan is because we know the Russos and RDJ aren't coming back for nonsense. I mean, look, when you give a man $80 million, he may just come back to put on a clown suit and walk around and say, fooled ya, fooled ya, fooled ya. I mean, that might be what we get. You pay the man $80 million, he's like, yeah, I'll crap all over my legacy of Iron Man. Absolutely. Put me in the clown suit. Let's troll these mother effers. You know what I mean? So I've been watching too much Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't usually go that close to swearing on the show. But, yeah, no, I do have faith in them. I do have faith. I think the Russos would only come back if they knew that they could do something right. One of the things they did say on the Comic-Con stage was they said, we thought we were done. We thought our storytelling was done. We put everything we had into Infinity War and Endgame. But then a new story entered our ears, and we think that it could be really interesting. So I'm hoping that that's true. I'm hoping that that is true, and it wasn't just BS on the stage. Nathan John Movie says, what will you see in August? I plan on Trap, Sandy Cheeks, the movie, Rebel Moon Director's Cut, Cuckoo, Borderlands, Alien Romulus, The Crow, and Blink Twice. I think the only thing I can guarantee on is Alien Romulus. I definitely want to go see Alien Romulus. Other than that, I am busy in August. I mean, I am going to work, and then I'm coming back from work, and I'm doing renovations at a house, and I'm packing, and I'm moving stuff over, and I'm working on the new studio, getting that ready to get all my stuff moved in there, to get the shows going again, to get stuff going again. I'm really busy in August. I've got a real busy month coming up, so honestly, I might sneak away to the movies for Alien Romulus and a couple other things. And I definitely want to make pre-recorded videos. I think if big major news drops, I'll probably do some pre-recorded videos and put those out just as they are. But yeah, August, I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know what to expect. It could be incredibly chaotic for me. Whoops, we did a jump there. We've got, Scottish Geek Guy. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, man. That's very appreciative. Thank you so much, dude. Here we go. Oh, we didn't go too far. Age Kid from the 90s says, Marvel's starting to remind me of the current state of Lucasfilm. There's no real plan. Change everything. I'm sorry, but you promised us Kang. Just had to recast Kang. Enough said. I'm excited for Doom. I don't think Marvel is anywhere close to the state of Lucasfilm. To be honest, I can see why you might get there. I can see why you could be a little bit upset about this, and it's justified. I get it. It's justified. But what I will say is that with Lucasfilm, it was like, okay, pass the baton to the next director. Don't tell him anything. Just let him do his thing. Pass the baton to the next director. Don't tell him anything. Just let him do his thing. And it just, for a universe, it wasn't cohesive. Whereas the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I still feel like is cohesive. I still feel like there is a driving force behind it. They've just taken some major swings. They try to do some different things. They try to switch up some genres and tones, and it just didn't pan out all the time. And I think that that's the biggest thing. I think Marvel is more hit and miss, whereas I feel like Star Wars Lucasfilm is just miss. I think the last hit that Lucasfilm had was Andor. And Andor's already, is that 2 years old at this point? Andor's already 2 years old, I think. So they, in my opinion, Lucasfilm Star Wars hasn't had a hit in 2 years. In 2 years. I can think of hits for Marvel. Guardians of the 3, there's a hit. Spider-Man No Way Home, but that's going back a little bit further, so let's stay a little bit more recent. Deadpool and Wolverine's definitely a hit. Let's see here. What else? Forgetting. Let's look up here. Yeah, probably Guardians 3 was definitely a hit. Okay, they don't have as many. Oh, Shang-Chi was definitely a hit, but I guess that's going back to 2021 as well. What came out from Marvel last year? I may be defeating my point. I can't even remember what Marvel movies came out last year. Yeah. You know what? I take it all back. Marvel sucks. Marvel's awful. Yeah, totally defeated my point there. Never mind. You're right. We'll just leave it at that. 80s Kid from the 90s says, imagine if Tom gets the black suit. I would love for them to get Tom the black suit at the end of Secret Wars. But the thing with that, too, is I don't feel like Tom... Okay, actually, I'm going to take that back. Because I was going to say, I don't feel like Tom Holland's at the place for black suit yet, but you still have 2 years. So I think Spider-Man 4 is definitely going to come out in between either Doomsday or Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think they want to get Spider-Man 4 out before Doomsday. That would be my guess. I guess that would be like a 2025. Could they hit 2025? Maybe even the beginning of the year of 2026, and then Doomsday is later in the year. I don't know. I do feel like Spider-Man 4 will be before Doomsday. You could age Peter up a little bit more, and then you see him again in Doomsday. He's aged up a little bit more, and then when you get to Secret Wars, he'll probably be aged pretty well. So yeah, and then you can get him the black suit at the end of Secret Wars like the comics, and then you can lead maybe into like a couple movies of him in the black suit, or at least one full movie of him in the black suit, and then take the Venom storyline. My biggest fear is that they're going to do the Venom stuff with Tom Hardy, which Venom 3 being the last dance and kind of getting rid of, not getting rid of, but seemingly ending Tom Hardy and Venom's run. It does give me hope that they could be doing that so that Tom can have Venom. But I'm not one of those people that wants to see Tom Hardy's Venom team up with Tom Holland's Venom. I just don't want to see that. I'm not interested in that version of Venom. I want to see Tom go bad, have bad Spider-Man done properly this time, and then do a Venom storyline with that. I think we're the most possible to get in a Black Suit Spider-Man storyline that we've ever been before since Spider-Man 3. Dakota Man Movies says, who's else got the Wolverine popcorn bucket? I know my buddy Ace got it. The Ace Avenue stood in that line. He got it. I, on the other hand, did not, because it's expensive. They didn't sell it at my theater, and I did not want to go online to the, people are just like selling that thing for crazy amounts of dollars. Scottish Geek Guy says, my theory is Vic Von Doom gets facial reconstruction surgery to look like Tony Stark as a way to mess with the minds of the Avengers. See, that could still work. It's all about the execution still, right? Because I'm not against that idea, but the thing for me with that is like, okay, you would still have to establish a Victor Von Doom. And to establish a Victor Von Doom that doesn't look like Robert Downey Jr. in 2 years and get the audience attached to him to the point that when he reconfigures is that going to hit as hard as it could if you take a couple more years to establish a character? So it's possible. It is possible. That's one of the theories, honestly, that I like a little bit more than some of these other ones. Like, I've seen he's an evil twin. I've seen Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark got swapped as kids in another universe. So Victor Von Doom grew up as in the Stark family. And I've seen theories out there that I've honestly not been fans of. I'm not a big fan of. So that one's actually not that bad. I'll give it to you. Trev's Movie says, to quote Gurr from Invader Zim, I'm going to sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom. I have not seen Invader Zim. I have not heard the words Invader Zim in a very long time. That just took me back. That just took me back to the third grade. That's crazy. Yeah, Invader Zim. That used to be a pretty fun little cartoon show. The Laser, what's going on, Laser? Thanks for joining us, buddy. He says, hey, Zach. Hey, Laser, good to see you in here. HGF90 says nostalgia has taken over so many memories with the set. Nostalgia has taken over so many memories with the set. Oh, with this set? Are you talking about this set? Because if you are, that's really nice of you, man. That's really sweet. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, but 2 years. Been doing this for 2 years. And pretty consistently. I think the most I've ever taken off is 2 weeks in a row. Maybe 3 weeks consistently in a row. I feel like I've done Wednesdays every Wednesday pretty consistently for the past, maybe it's almost 2 years. I think it is 2 years at this point. Yeah, man, it's been a journey. It's been a ride. It's been fun. Yeah, if I do take off August, which is very possible, that'll be the most time I've taken off of Zach Milne Talks Live since I started 2 years ago. That's crazy. This has been a great joy. I've loved doing this, talking with you and having you guys here and just relaxing, hanging out, going over the news topics, having fun, talking movies, escaping reality a little bit. This has been such a treat. This has been great, and it's my honor and pleasure that you guys have joined me and joined the channel and made it a real thing. So thank you guys so much. And now you got me feeling nostalgic because, yeah, there's been a lot of good things. Last year we had a fantastic year on the channel. All of that took place in this studio, in this room, and it's going to be a whole new chapter, a whole new era, and I'm looking forward to it. The Ace Avenue says, Trev, Invader Zim is a classic. Yeah, that's a classic I haven't thought about in a while. The Laser says, it's so good to see you again. So did you see that Inside Out 2 has crossed 1.5 billion worldwide, and it's about to be the 10th biggest film of all time? Yeah, that thing is a juggernaut. It just won't stop. And you know what? It shouldn't stop. It's a phenomenal film. It's so good. Yeah, they still have another month in theaters because that thing's going till the end of... I think it's going to be the biggest movie of the year. I think Deadpool and Wolverine had a huge opening. By the way, 205. I think it actually came out officially. $211 million for Deadpool and Wolverine. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Disney is happy. Ryan Reynolds is happy. Hugh Jackman, Sean Levy, they are having a ball. That is huge money for Deadpool and Wolverine, especially being R-rated. That thing's going to be a huge hit. I think it's bar none going to cross $1 billion. I could see it getting to $1.3, $1.4 billion at the end of its run, but I think Inside Out 2 has it for the year. I think Inside Out 2 is going to finish with like 1.6, 1.7. Maybe, because it has another month, maybe it'll cross the 2 billion mark, but I'm not going to put my money on it. I think 1.7, 1.8 is probably the cap for Inside Out 2, but I do think it's the biggest movie of the year. I think it's going to end up being number one of the year. And you know what? I'd be totally happy if it was the end of the year's biggest movie because it was a beautiful film. I loved Inside Out 2. I'm probably going to rewatch Deadpool and Wolverine more than I rewatch Inside Out 2, you know? But beautiful film. Really enjoyed it. The Laser says, your beard is gone. Yep. The guessing game with you guys has kind of encouraged me to have a beard and not have a beard. No, I do that in life anyways. Yeah, it just grew. It grew to a point where I was like tired of it. It was thick. It was bushy. And, you know, I could have trimmed it, but I like to start fresh. I just get rid of it. Plus, it's hot. It's like it got up to like 42 degrees Celsius here the other day. So having all that on my face is warm during the day. And I do a lot of my work outside. I'm outside washing cars and taking garbages out and stuff. So it's hot at work when I have the beard. So I shaved it. I love how attached you guys get to it, though. It's very nice. Trev's Movie says, most anticipated movie for August. I have 3 for the wrong reasons, and only because they are required reviews for me. It Ends With Us, The Forge, and the Ryan's World movie that exists and is theatrical. I have not heard of any of those movies, to be honest, so maybe I'll check them out. I will say that I think the one for me is probably Alien Romulus. I think Alien Romulus might be number one because I can't think of much else that comes out in August. At least I'm not paying attention to much, I guess. But Alien Romulus has my attention. Nathan John Movie says, thoughts on Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. My brother's favorite season thus far, but unfortunately I did not like it. I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched it yet, and I will tell you why. It's because people have said they're disappointed with it. And that kind of made me sad. And like I said, I don't know exactly what I've been doing, but I've been doing something. Because I haven't watched a lot of TV, and I haven't watched a lot of movies lately. I haven't even seen The Bear Season 3. I was super excited for The Bear Season 3, and I still haven't gotten around to watching it yet, so I got to jump on that. And, you know, I've got time. Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2, I think, is in November. And there's only 5 episodes, so I'll catch up. But as of this moment, I've not seen Cobra Kai Season 6. But you know what? a lot of stuff I've been hearing about it has kind of seemingly confirmed my fears, because I thought last season felt like a series finale. I thought last season you wrapped up a lot of conflict, you resolved a lot of stuff, you seemingly defeated Cobra Kai once and for all. I didn't really see where else they could go, honestly, with season 6. So I'm very curious to see what they do. But from the sounds of it, a lot of people are saying, yeah, the gas ran out, and I was kind of afraid of that. The Laser says $1 billion movies for the rest of 2024. Despicable Me 4, Moana 2, Deadpool 3, and that's it. Joker doesn't have a chance. Wicked, no way, and Beetlejuice, maybe. Okay, so I think that Despicable Me 4, has it already crossed $1 billion? I wouldn't be surprised if it's already crossed $1 billion. I think that's $1 billion. Moana 2, I do think will be $1 billion. Deadpool 3 is looking to be $1 billion. I'm not going to discount Joker, because every time Joker has played in my theater, I feel the audience perk up a bit. I hear the one guy, oh, that's interesting. Like, I hear murmurs around me. I feel the audience lean forward. I think there's a lot more anticipation for Joker than we might be giving it credit for. I think it looks fresh. I think it looks unique and new, especially in the landscape of what we've been getting recently. I think there could be a lot of love for Joker, and I do think that it has a chance. I'm not going to say it doesn't have a chance. I do think it has a chance. Wicked, don't be surprised. There's a lot going for Wicked. It is a beloved musical. Ariana Grande is still a huge influential pop star. She's got fans. People might go out to support that. And the trailers, like same with Joker, when it plays in my theater, people perk up. You know, there's sections of the audience that, ooh, I'm going to go see that. So I don't know. I don't know about $1 billion for Wicked, but I will say, I'm not going to say Joker doesn't have a chance. I think it does have a chance. I do think there's actually a lot of anticipation for it. But Beetlejuice, I don't think so. I don't think Beetlejuice is as beloved of a classic as it's given credit for, to be honest with you. I also don't think Beetlejuice necessarily has aged and held up all that well. So I don't know if you're gonna get many people that are clamoring to go see a Beetlejuice. But we'll see. Trev's Movie says, I may not have been at Comic-Con this past weekend, but I did start The Boys Season 4, and they had a bit at a place called TruthCon. So far, I'll say that I'm enjoying it fine, but I'm not even shocked by certain things in the show anymore, because I know what to expect. Yeah, I don't watch The Boys, but my brother watches The Boys, and he was slightly disappointed with Season 4, but he said that they had some crazy stuff in there as well. So I'm glad that you seem to be enjoying it. Nathan Van Movie says, in my theater, I was a bit shocked to find there were a bunch of little kids in my theater ranging from 5 to 10 years old. I'm guessing that's for Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, 5 is really young. 10, depending on how they do with gore, I honestly think it might be fine to bring a 10-year-old, obviously supervised and with a parent, to Deadpool and Wolverine. But 5, that's pretty young. I think 5 is a little young. I know some of you guys and some people are watching horror films or watching Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and all that stuff at 5 years old. And some of you guys become horror lovers that young of age. For me, just going to say that's a little bit too young. That's too young. 10 is on the cusp of, like, for Deadpool and Wolverine, that might be fine. The bloodiest part of the movie is easily the beginning and the car fight with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. But even that's like, he regenerates, he can't die. So it's just blood's going all over the place, but no one's really dying. So, yeah, other than that, I don't think there's much else in Deadpool and Wolverine. Trev's Movie says, Nathan Dredd movie is better than taking your kids to Despicable Me 4. I mean, I think kids would enjoy Despicable Me 4 just fine, but Deadpool and Wolverine is definitely going to be a lasting impression. The Laser said, with Inside Out 2 making over $1.5 billion worldwide, does Inside Out 3 have a chance to do $2 billion? I think Frozen 4 can get close at 1.8. I definitely think there's going to be an Inside Out 3. I definitely think that the longer the franchise goes, the more generations that discover it. Because I think that was a big thing for Inside Out 2 and why it did so well. And why some people are really shocked at how well it did. And I'm not all that shocked, because I was kind of saying it for a little bit. I think Inside Out is their new Toy Story. And I think in that way, it is timeless storytelling that everyone can relate to. It's been almost 10 years since you had Inside Out. So you had someone who was 1 year old when Inside Out came out. They're now 11. They're the perfect age for Inside Out 2. You have someone like me who was, oh my gosh, I was 14. No, I was 15. I was 15 years old when the first Inside Out came out. Now I'm 25, and I'm still going to the movies. And there's people my age that are going to the movies now with their kids, and there's kids that have grown up with it. There's teenagers that have grown up with it. There are adults that grew up with it and just want to go see it because they loved it. So generationally, I think that's why Inside Out 2 did so well, is because it's a franchise that, much like Toy Story, is aging with its audience. So if you give Inside Out 3 a couple more years, people grow up with Inside Out and Inside Out 2 again, and you've got the people now who are 10 years old watching Inside Out 2, and then you get them and they're like 20 years old, and the 5-year-olds are like 15 years old and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, Inside Out 3 may have a chance of breaking $2 billion as the generations grow with it. As far as Frozen 4, 1.8 billion I think is pretty good. The Frozen Frozen 4. Frozen 3 hasn't even come out. Do you mean Frozen 3? There hasn't been a Frozen 3 yet. There's only been Frozen 2, right? Frozen 2 did over $1 billion. I don't know. That's the thing. Is Frozen's still pretty popular, isn't it? I don't have kids, so I don't know. Frozen probably pretty popular. I'll give you 1.8. 1.8 is really good. The Laser, I'm sorry, man. Deadpool, we kind of talked on top of the show that we were going to talk spoilers. It's been everywhere. So it was kind of fair game. I apologize, though. I apologize if anything was ruined for you, man. But we did give a fair warning. We gave a fair warning. The Laser says, this summer has felt so unsatisfying. Nothing has happened. Yeah, it's been a weak summer. When you compare it to last summer, where weekend after weekend after weekend was a huge, big release, it's been pretty lackluster. Even Deadpool and Wolverine, which was the biggest event of the year, I was super amped for the past 2 years. I've been super amped for it. It didn't even live up to my expectations. It was a little underwhelming for me personally. I really enjoyed it, had a great time, but it still was a little bit underwhelming. So I agree, man. I agree. This summer's been a little bit lackluster. I think, and a lot of movies have flopped too. A lot of movies have not done well. Fall Guy didn't do well. Furiosa didn't do well. Yeah, not my favorite summer. Not gonna lie to you. Dakota My Movie says, rewatched Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday in 4DX. That final scene where they're stopping Cassandra Nova shakes like crazy. That final scene where they're stopping Cassandra Nova shakes like crazy. Like you're shaking like crazy. Like I can't believe they're stopping Nova. Or like the camera shakes like crazy. Because there is one fight scene that takes place in Nova's lair between the cameos and stuff that is a little bit shaky cam for me. Is a little bit too shaky. Wasn't quite stable. But if you're talking about all the Deadpools, I didn't think that was shaky at all. So, sorry, man. I'm not quite sure what we're referring to. The Laser says, I hate the new Fantastic Four title. First Step sounds weird. I don't think they need it. That was something that came out of Comic-Con, too. You bring up a good point there. I don't really think they needed it. Like, Fantastic Four, Marvel's Fantastic Four, MCU's Fantastic Four, that's enough. That's all you need. Just like how James Gunn, Superman Legacy, I think it was smart to drop off the Legacy. Just Superman. Like, just have it be Superman. Like, that just has the weight to it. You don't need Legacy. It's not important. A title in itself isn't necessarily the be-all, end-all of a movie, obviously, but Legacy, removing Legacy and just being Superman, it just establishes it so much more for me. And same with Fantastic Four. Like, Marvel is just putting their stamp on it. This is Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four, First Steps. Unnecessary. You don't need it. And not gonna lie, when they announced it at Comic-Con, I went, oh, okay. But it weirdly enough made me less excited for the movie just because the title. I'm like, oh, I don't like saying that. Fantastic Four, First Steps. No, not good in my opinion. The Laser says Skeleton Crew first looks don't look very good. That's really disappointing to hear, but also not surprising. Trev's Movie says, is your theater showing Harold and the Purple Crayon? If they're showing that and not Trap, that's dumb. Dude, I'll tell you right now, if they're showing that and not Trap, I riot. I'm going to check that right now, actually. You have me curious. I'm going to go to my theater app. I'm going to look at, I guess, tomorrow. And I'm going to see if they are playing that. Because if they're playing Harold and the Purple Crayon and I can't see Trap, maybe they've added Trap. Maybe it's updated since I looked yesterday. Let's see here. Deadpool and Wolverine in like a bunch of screens. They're still playing Twisters. Speaking 4, Inside Out 2. Nope. But let me go here on Friday. See if they've updated it. They're playing Trap. They've added it since yesterday. Yes. Okay. I will be seeing Trap because I'm looking forward to Trap. I will be seeing that. All right. They haven't added Harold and the Purple Crayon, but they've added Trap for Friday, so I'm gonna be seeing Trap apparently. Good. I don't have to riot now. Trev's movie says, I'm going to be reading the book to It Ends With Us on camera before the movie comes out. Pray for Trev. You're going to be reading the book on camera? Like on your YouTube channel, you're going to be reading the book? That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Good on you, man. I'll be curious to check that out. The Laser says, Skeleton Crew looks to be a Star Wars... Could you... Wait, sorry. I just had a thought. Can you get copyright claimed for that on YouTube? Like, is that the same as, like, showing a whole movie? Because you're kind of giving away a free audiobook if you read a whole book. Is that a thing? Is that... I don't know. Could you get blocked? That's an interesting question. The Laser, says, Skeleton Crew looks to be a Star Wars project starring children, and it just looks like Spy Kids, but Star Wars. Not into it. Sounds like a stinker to me. Doesn't sound good. Maybe it'll be good. It could be good. I'll give it a chance. But I just have no faith. No faith in Star Wars right now. Nathan's Movie says, M. Night Avatar is truly one of the worst things I've ever seen. I hear that a lot. Acting, action, visual, storytelling, absolutely nothing about it worked. No justice to the source material whatsoever. It's been said ever since the movie came out, and you are not the first to say it. So I'll take your word for it, because I've heard that a lot. Trev's Movie says, FYI, it's 384 pages long, and the movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Again, pray for me. Wow. I don't know why you're doing that to yourself, man, but I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the willingness. The Laser says, Mandalorian and Grogu movie ends with saying, see what happens in season 4, and we get pissed. Mandalorian and Grogu, man, I can't even get excited for that because season 3 was so lackluster. I just kind of feel, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I feel like they've milked Grogu as much as they can. I still like the character. Grogu, buddy, I still love you. Man. But I think he's kind of, after season 2, I think that was his peak cuteness. And now I think he's just kind of been played out, milked out. I think people are kind of over it. So now I think they need a real story-driven selling point to get me excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. And after everything they've been doing, I just don't see it. Especially after Mandalorian Season 3, which was so disappointing. I'm not even that excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. Excited to get Star Wars back on the big screen again, I guess, but not necessarily for Mandalorian and Grogu. I think I'm more curious for the Rey movie than Mandalorian and Grogu, because the Rey movie is at least has the potential to feel like an episode 10, like I really feel like as much as Star Wars is the brand, the episodic movies were also a huge part of that brand. And I think it's a massive mistake to have Star Wars movies in theaters and not have episode 10, 11, 12 to their title. Trust Movie says, my first unboxing video did have 20-something views. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I'm always going to celebrate. Hey, that's 20 more views than you had yesterday. I'm always going to celebrate views. And you should be proud of those views, man. You should absolutely be proud. Trev's Movie says, it was for the Fall Guy 4K Steelbook. Ah, very nice. Very nice. I'll have to check that out. Trev's Movie says, I first watched Deadpool and Wolverine at a private screening at the theater I worked at. It was fun, but I had to control myself when Blade walked out. There's only one Blade. That was really funny. There's no way they could have planned that, right? There's no way they could have planned him saying there's only one Blade. There's only going to be one Blade. When we've had all these production issues, problems with the MCU Blade and Mahershala Ali. Is he going to be Blade? Is he not going to be Blade? All that kind of stuff. I thought it worked on a lot of levels, and I thought it was really funny. The Laser says, you should give people another week before Deadpool spoilers because not everyone has seen the movie. I understand. I understand that. We did give a warning at the beginning about spoilers, and a majority of people, $211 million. I just didn't want to be handcuffed. I didn't really see the problem with not to mention, I think I would have felt differently if the photos weren't everywhere. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Sean Levy literally pulled out every single cameo on stage at Comic-Con and had them announced who was going to be in the movie. So to me, it's the exact same as movie news. It's out there. It's free domain. People are talking about it. And yeah, I do apologize if things were ruined. But I do think that, you know, at this point, it's an internet thing. It's all over the internet, and so why shouldn't it be here? But I understand. Nathan Dread Movie says he rammed Buddy nuts inside my mama, and I shot up there and said, "What's up, Doc?" Channing Tatum. Oh, okay. I was like, I have no idea where this is going, because one of the jokes that I thought really worked for Deadpool and Gambit is the fact that Deadpool could not understand what Gambit was saying. Because at times I couldn't understand what he was saying either. And I loved when he was like, who's your dialect coach? The Minions? That was great. That was one of my biggest laughs, honestly. Travis Movie says, in my review of Deadpool and Wolverine, I tried my best to do a Wolverine look with my hair. I noticed that. I said to myself, I looked more like Ace Ventura when he's at the mental hospital in a tutu. Oh, I love Ace Ventura. Did you guys see that photo? I wonder if I can pull it up here real quick, because I loved it. It was someone put Ace Ventura in Deadpool and Wolverine. They replaced him with Wolverine, and they put Jim Carrey. Let me see if I can pull this image up, because yes, here it is. See if I can. Oh, can I blow this up? Can I make this bigger? Yes. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna pull this up, because this image killed me. This image killed me. It's there you go. It's got Jim Carrey. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I think you guys can see that. It's Jim Carrey, and they put him in place of Wolverine, and he is going at it with Deadpool. And as a big Jim Carrey fan, as someone who enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine, I got a huge kick out of this. I thought it was so fun. Why can't I get it a little bit more positioned here? That's a little smaller. There we go. You can see it better there. You can see that's Ace Ventura with Deadpool. And I look at this photo. And I'm just like, chef's kiss. Whoever thought of that, whoever photoshopped that, I love you. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care if it's too soon. I freaking love you, dude, because this made my night yesterday when this popped up on my Twitter feed. Oh man, it's hilarious. Look at the hair. Oh, it's perfect. Look at that. It's so perfect. Oh, I love it. I think it's brilliant. Brilliant, I say. All right. Going beyond that, let's see. We got Nathan Dread Movie saying that was my favorite line from him. Chaz Movie says there are 206 bones in the human body, 207 from watching Gossip Girl. Yeah, that was the first huge laugh in my theater. I was surprised because when he's digging up Logan's grave, I thought my theater was going to laugh a lot more because I was definitely laughing, but that was the first big one. Nathan's Random Movies says, no, I also feel stupid about Comic-Con because at Comic-Con there was a surprise screening of Deadpool 3 anyways, with Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and the whole cast came out after the film played. That's right. I did see that online. That's where they announced the people that were in the movie as the cameos. That's right. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I'm so sorry you missed out on that. Trust Movie says Zach's gonna say it. He's gonna say Avengers as that's fun. I'm sorry, what? And then Flame On. Yep, Flame On. Dakota Man Movie says Eliath in this thing from Loki Season 1, Episode 5. You can tell the reaction from that joke if people are watching the shows. No one. In my theater, anyways. No one laughed at that. I did. My brother did. Actually, you know what? I take that back. There was a group of guys at near the front, and they laughed along with that. So, not nobody, but it was a lower laugh than I would have thought. And that's right. There was a couple things in here where I was like, you can tell who's been watching the shows and who hasn't been. Dakota Man Movie says, Ryan Reynolds posted on Twitter, he knows why Thor is crying but won't tell. I think it's a joke. I really don't think that's going to play into anything. I could be wrong. And if they do make that play into something, it could retroactively be after the moment got so big. But I think it was just a gag. I think it was just a gag where they took Loki out of Dark World and put Deadpool in and did something with Thor. I thought it was funny, though. I thought it was funny. Next event movie says my theater laughed the most at the post-credit scene of Deadpool 3. That was a fun one. I kind of liked it too because when Deadpool starts rattling his mouth off and telling on Johnny and gets him killed, I was kind of like, does this make Deadpool just slightly unlikable to me? Because like that's pretty brutal. that what you were saying about somebody that may not be true got them killed. And then the post-credit scene revealed that he said all those things. And it was really funny to see Chris Evans as Johnny Storm saying all those things. I got a big kick out of it. And it was kind of like, okay, I still think it was pretty jerky of you to tell her what he said and got him killed. But at least we know that he said it. So, and I don't even remember what he said. Like, I couldn't recite that to you. It was so filthy and vulgar, and it was hilarious. But that post-credit scene, while it didn't show any further implications for the MCU like I was hoping it would, it was pretty funny. It was a nice little button on the movie. Trust Movie says, thoughts on Wade and Vanessa being broken up? I didn't see the point of it. Yeah, same. I thought that was one of the things that really didn't work for me. I thought that they needed more time to establish why. I think they needed more time to... Because there was really only... seeing her at the birthday party, having a brief conversation in the kitchen that alludes to them being broken up, and then Nova going into his head and showing the breakup scene. But when you have the first Deadpool movie, the core of that movie is Vanessa and Wade and their relationship and their romance and the fight for it. And then in Deadpool 2, you lose Vanessa because she gets killed at the beginning of the movie, so you lose that core. And then he goes back in time and gets that core back. And then in the third one, all of it was for nothing because they just broke up. I thought it was... I didn't think it was done well. I didn't think it was done well at all. And I thought it was just... It was empty emotion. It was hollow. Travis Movies says, when did your theater applaud during Deadpool Wolverine? My audience was kind of lackluster on the second viewing because they reacted but didn't applaud much. Keep in mind, again, first viewing it was a private screening. My theater doesn't really do that, honestly, in my city. My theater is not a very rowdy, kind of crowd. At the end of the movie, at the end, so I had to, my first viewing of Deadpool, I had to pee so bad from the second that Johnny Storm popped up. So we're only like maybe half an hour into the movie at this point, 40 minutes into the movie, and I had to pee for the rest of the movie at that point. I had to go so bad, but I held it the entire time to watch the full movie. I held it. I was dying, but I held it. And then I stayed all the way to the post-credit scene, watched post-credit scene, and then when the lights came on, everyone gets up. I was trying to book it down the aisle. And then this little husky kid, bless his heart, this little husky kid gets in my way and drops his M&Ms, and his mom tells him to pick him up. And I'm standing there like, get out of the way, kid. I got to pee. Just get out of the way. And so anyways, that caused a big, huge traffic jam for the stairs getting down because I was at the very top row. So going down the stairs, there was a traffic jam. And in the middle of the traffic jam, where we were all just kind of like standing there, this one guy just goes, wasn't that epic? And then so there was a couple people in the theater that were like, yeah. So that was the most my audience gave, was when that guy kind of broke the silence and was like, wasn't that epic? So that was kind of the only thing. But I couldn't really even enjoy that because I was just waiting for this husky kid and all these people to get out of the way so I could pee. Which is one of the reasons I'm glad I went back again and watched it a second time the next night when I didn't have to pee and I could just fully focus on the movie and my head wasn't full of urine. Was that TMI? I don't know. You guys are here for it, though, right? Nathan Trent Movies says, best films of the summer thus far. My top 3 are Furiosa, Inside Out 2, and Long Legs. My top 3 for the summer are probably Furiosa, Inside Out 2, and Deadpool and Wolverine. I missed Twisters. I was thinking of maybe catching Twisters, but I don't know. At this point, I'm not going to do a review for it. I didn't really even care that much for the first Twister, so I'll probably just wait till it comes out. Other than that, yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, Furiosa was pretty good. And Inside Out 2 is definitely up there. That's all I can think of at the moment. I should have my letterbox open when I do these, but I don't. So, anyways. Judge Movie says, anyone going to watch the new SpongeBob Sandy Cheeks movie on Netflix? Not me. Next Movie says, which one? No Way Home or Deadpool and Wolverine? No Way Home. No Way Home, 100%. Because I had a great time with Deadpool and Wolverine. I had a lot of fun watching it. For me, the fun of it was the first view, the most fun of it was the first viewing of the anticipation of who's going to show up. And then when they showed up was kind of that release of like, now I know. The speculation's over. I know who shows up. But when it comes to who shows up, aside from maybe 3 of them, because we didn't even talk about like Daphne Keane coming back was pretty cool. But Elektra, not really attached to her. Gambit was a character that like was a fun joke. But when you get No Way Home, like, that's my childhood coming together. Like, I love Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man's my favorite hero, my favorite character maybe of all time. And you had the childhood Spider-Man my teenage years Spider-Man and my adult years Spider-Man. My whole life was encapsulated. My Spider-Man fandom, my whole life was encapsulated in No Way Home. And it was more than just the fun of seeing the cameos. It really meant something to me, and it still means something to me. I'm forever grateful for that movie existing. Whereas Deadpool and Wolverine, I had a good time. I'm glad I saw it, but No Way Home, I'm like thankful exists, is how I feel about that movie. So I'm going with No Way Home. The laser says, remember, it wasn't a joke in the first Deadpool movie. I don't remember if that was a joke or not, to be honest with you. Just Movie says, F, Marry, Kill. I mean, keep, watch, burn. There you go. No Way Home, Guardians 3, Deadpool, and Wolverine. I will definitely keep No Way Home. I will burn Guardians 3, and I'll watch Deadpool and Wolverine. I think Guardians 3, people were more hyped on that movie than I was. I think it's the least funny of the Guardians movies. I think the jokes just don't land as hard for me. I also think the story is the messiest of all the Guardians movies. I'd rather watch Guardians 1 or Guardians 2 over Guardians 3, if I'm being honest with you. Whereas No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine are just fun times all the way around. I'd watch them over Guardians 3. So keep No Way Home, watch Deadpool, and burn Guardians 3. And I enjoy Guardians 3, so don't come at me about that. 3D movie cinema, what's going on, Jake? Thanks for joining, man. He says, does it feel like, even though it's not that, Alien Romulus is a sequel to Alien Covenant because facehuggers in latest trailer look like some tray that David put them in? It's been a really long time since I've watched Prometheus or Alien Covenant, so I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jake. I have no idea exactly what you're referring to. I'm not quite sure, but I do think that it looks like taking Alien back to its roots, back to what made it work because Alien's a horror movie at its core. Like, Aliens came and made it action, but the Ridley Scott original is a horror movie. So taking Alien and bringing it back to its horror, I think is going to work really well, and it looks like it looks awesome. So, yeah, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, been a while since I watched those, to be honest. Trez Movie says, with Kang out of the picture, do you think Quantumania works as a standalone film? Honestly, if you think about it now, the Ant-Man trilogy can work as its own standalone trilogy from the MCU. I mean, I always thought it worked as a standalone film. It just makes the defeat of Kang a little bit more disappointing, that he gets defeated by ants, and then he's like, no, I'm gonna come back. But he doesn't. Or at least it doesn't look like he's going to. So, yeah. In your opinion, no. Fair enough. I think, it just makes it more disappointing. But I do think that you can always watch it as a standalone. I like Quantumania. I know a lot of people hated Quantumania. I had fun with Quantumania, and I totally like MODOK rules. I loved MODOK. Trev's Movies says, am I the only one who sometimes forgets about Black Panther Wakanda Forever exists? Maybe it's because it didn't have the impact that the first film had. I really liked Wakanda Forever. I really liked that one, but that was 2022. So... well, I guess that's in the span of 2 years. So, yeah, I could have said Wakanda Forever because I love Wakanda Forever. I thought Wakanda Forever was beautiful. But, yeah, it did not have the lasting impact as the first Black Panther did, for sure. Nathan Movie says, thoughts on the Creature Commandos trailer? Not going to lie, haven't seen it. The Laser says, whose balas did we have to funnel to get Deadpool and Wolverine? Whose balas did we have to funnel? That's the opening of Deadpool 1, I'm pretty sure. The Laser says, I remember your old set. Well, yeah, I mean, it was in the same room, but it was just against that wall. Well, actually, it was against this wall for the longest time, and then my breaker broke, so that looks ugly now. So then it was against that wall, and then it just transitioned to be in this corner. So actually, there's been a lot of different sets. I tried having my Blu-rays behind me. The lighting looked terrible. Yeah, I've done a lot in this one room over the course of the past 2 years, 3 years maybe. Yeah, 3 years, because even when I did the blue screen in the background, that was in this room too. That was against this wall right here. Nathan John Movie says, how likely do you think that blade gets scrapped? After all, there's only one blade. There'll only ever be one blade. I don't think it gets scrapped, but I do think there's a 45% chance that it does. I think they are determined to make it work. Honestly, I think Daywalkers in the MCU, there's a lot more to figure out there of how it works than I think they were given credit for. And I think that's probably the biggest hang up, is it like, how do we explain vampires, daywalkers, and all this stuff in the MCU that's existed for like 15 years, and none of this stuff has been around. So yeah, I don't think it gets scrapped, but I'm also not going to say it's not going to. It's a possibility. The laser says, I can't grow a beard. I just got a mustache and your beard look like Chris Pratt. Yeah, it grows fast, man. If you want the beard back, I'll get you the beard back by September. It grows fast. Not to brag. Ever since middle school, I know. Ever since middle school, ever since I turned 13, everyone's always admired my beard, which feels nice. I'm not going to lie, that feels nice. But it does grow really fast. And gets annoying. The laser says Cobra Kai is not the last project in the franchise. They're planning to make a prequel story of Mr. Miyagi. Not so excited about that. And the Karate Kid releases 2025. That one I'm excited for. Yeah, Karate Kid with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio coming back. I don't know what they're planning on doing with that, but I'm excited to see it. The laser said, what are your most anticipated movies of 2025? For me, it's Avatar 3, Zootopia 2, Superman, Minecraft, and Pixar's Elio. Fantastic Four is definitely up there. Actually, you know what? It's been a minute since I've looked. What comes out in 2025 movies? Let's see what the big players are. Because I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so you've got Captain America Brave New World, which I'm definitely curious about. Fantastic Four, I'm definitely excited for. Mission Impossible 8, is that actually going to come out? Because I'd be really excited for it if it actually comes out. But they're having some production issues. Something happened with the submarine. So we'll see. Superman's definitely up there. I got Fantastic Four, Superman. Jurassic World 4, I'm very curious about, to be honest with you, to see what they do with that. I'm very interested in this Michael Jackson biopic. Because I don't know what direction they're going to go with it, but the picture of is it his nephew, I think, playing it, looks intense. Looks really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let's see what else we got. A Quiet Place Day 1, that already came out. Crazy Google. Let's find one more. Avatar 3, is that one of my most anticipated? I don't know. I always enjoy it. Oh, you know what? Thunderbolts. I know I'm going MCU heavy here, but you know what? I'm gonna throw Thunderbolts in there and Mickey 17. I'm kind of curious to see what Mickey 17 is gonna have to offer, but I'll throw Thunderbolts in there because they said some stuff on the panel at Comic-Con on Saturday that had my curiosity. It had me peak. So I'm looking forward. To seeing what they got there. Let's see. Here we got Trez Movies saying I'm showing my future son, who I'll name John McClane. Nice name. Die Hard when he turns 5. He'll ask me where his name came from, and I'll say, you've got 2 hours and 11 minutes. That's awesome. At 5 years old, I hope he can handle it, man. I definitely would not. I would not be able to handle that. I do want both boys and girls, though. Nice, man. Yeah, a boy and a girl. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, too. Nathan John Movies says, are you excited for the new Robert Zemeckis film starring Tom Hanks and Robin Wright? I've never heard of it. I didn't know that it was coming, but Robert Zemeckis forever has a pass for me because of Back to the Future, and I love Castaway. So he's done some good stuff with Tom Hanks in the past, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. So yeah, don't even know what it is, but I'm excited. Dakota Man Movie says 40X is when the seats shake through the movie. Oh, I see what you were saying. Yeah, we call that D-box. In my theater, we call that the D-box seats, and they're like $40 for the ticket. I'm like, I don't need to feel what it's like to move with Deadpool and Wolverine. I'll stick to my, I have a little membership thing, so I'll stick to my $10 ticket. Thank you very much. Dakota Man Movie says, so when I said the seats were shaking like crazy, it's when they were stopping Cassandra Nova from using the Time Ripper. I see what you're saying. Okay, sorry, that was totally lost on me. That makes sense. I can see why the seats would be shaking with Cassandra Nova like that. So that makes sense. Yeah, I've never been in one of those seats because one, I get motion sickness. So I'm pretty sure I'd get sick if I was in one of those seats. And like I said, they're $40, so I can't do it. The laser. Sorry, we did a jump there. The laser says, your audio is so good, by the way, and your voice feels so comfortable, like John Campia. Amazing stream. Thank you so much, dude. That's very nice of you. And honestly, dude, I'm very self-conscious about my voice. Always have been. I've never liked my voice. And I know that's like the general thing. You hear it in voicemails. You hear it back on the phone, and you're like, ugh, my voice. You hear it back in the recordings. I've always hated my voice. I've never liked it. I've been made fun of it in the past as well. So that honestly feels really, really nice to hear that my voice is comfortable like John Campia. That's the best thing that you could have said tonight. So thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That goes right here, man. That goes right to the heart. The laser says Grogu is hot. I'm not going to disagree. Nathan Jenner Movies says, I stopped watching Star Wars altogether. I still have only seen one Acolyte episode. Just stop there. Just stop there. You don't need to do more. The Ace Avenue says, favorite Jim Carrey movie. So it's probably the generic Dumb and Dumber. I love Dumb and Dumber. I never get tired of Dumb and Dumber. I could watch Dumb and Dumber all day long. My favorite Jim Carrey comedic performance, though, is Liar Liar. I think his slapstick body, cartoonish, whatever you call it, humor, is peak in Liar Liar. The scene with the pen is one of my favorite scenes. I think he just puts his body to the max in Dumb and Dumber, so I really like that. I also have a soft spot. I really like Bruce Almighty. The Mask, while I don't think it's aged very well, I have a soft spot for that. I love Ace Ventura. Lots of stuff in there that's controversial nowadays. I don't care. I love Ace Ventura. A lot of his stuff in the 90s is some of his best stuff. I do like Lemony Snicket's Unfortunate Events. I think he was a great Count Olaf. The movie itself tried to do too much by shoving 3 movies into one movie, so it doesn't work all that well, but I think he's great in it. And I think his best, I think, Oscar performance. I'll also throw in The Grinch. I love him in The Grinch. Watch it every Christmas ever since I was a kid. Got to throw out Jim Carrey's Grinch. But I think his best performance where I'm like, his 2 best performances where I'm like, Jim Carrey is an actor. Like, he's a great comedian. He's probably my favorite movie comedian ever. But he's a great actor. Is The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind. He's phenomenal. He's great in both of those. So, yeah, those are a couple. But if I had to pick one to watch over and over and over again, it'd probably be stereotypical, but it would be Dumb and Dumber. Dakota Man Movie says, Wade and Vanessa were about to have a kid, then they broke up. What happened? Yeah, see, that's the thing, is it didn't feel like, if this was because she was a variant, which is kind of what I thought they were going to do, because he saved her in Deadpool 2, so maybe this wasn't the same Vanessa, and she didn't fall for him because she's like, ew, what's your face? And she didn't know him as Hot Ryan Reynolds. So I kind of thought that was the direction that they were going to go, but it seemed like she was the same Vanessa. She just, got tired of him superheroing, so she stopped. Or because she got killed, I guess she broke up with it. It was just muddy. It was muddled, and they were like, we got to do something with Vanessa, make it the heart. They broke up. There. Now let's focus on Deadpool and Wolverine. And it just didn't work. Honestly, if it was up to me, you just say they broke up. Don't even have her in the movie. I think that would have worked better. I think just say, oh, Vanessa and I were not together anymore. We went our separate ways after I got her killed. She wasn't so happy about that. Something like that. And then she's not even in the movie. Which would still be like a what? But at least it wouldn't be as distracting as seeing her there. So yeah, I agree with that. The Ace Avenue says, well, Johnny did tell Wade he could quote him, so he did. That's true. That is true. He did say you can quote me on that. So he did. Okay, fair enough. That is fair. The Laser says, oh yeah, Saving Bikini Bottom. It releases August 2nd. It got leaked back in January. I thought it was such a bad movie. It made me feel sad of what this franchise has become. You know what? The SpongeBob movies have been good. Like, the SpongeBob movie from 2004 is legitimately a pretty entertaining animated movie. And then even Sponge Out of Water, which I was back in 2015 when that was coming out, I was very skeptical about that. I was like, live action, they're doing it with superheroes, such a gimmick and of the times. But then the movie ended up being like 90% in the animated world. And it was actually really fun. And it was great. So I liked the SpongeBob movie. I liked the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Then they did this, Sponge on the Run. I did not like it. I thought the Keanu Reeves cameo was fun, as him as the Tumbleweed. Everything else was just like, this is not the SpongeBob I grew up with. This is a new generation, and that's fine. They can have their SpongeBob. But this is not my SpongeBob, so I'm not into this. And this Sandy Cheeks thing, didn't even know it got leaked. That shows you how much I'm paying attention to it. Don't care. Couldn't care less. So, nope. Not going to watch it, probably. I'm definitely not going to watch the SpongeBob movie before I see The Bear Season 3 and Cobra Kai Season 6, which I'm actually legitimately excited for. I also have Challengers on Blu-ray I got to watch. I haven't watched that yet, and I'm not going to watch SpongeBob before that. The Laser says, I will give a 15-minute review of Saving Bikini Bottom because being a huge SpongeBob fan for over a decade, it just felt sad. I will watch your review, but I will not watch the movie. Trez Movie says, The Laser, so it's worse than Sponge on the Run, which was just okay. I mean, I wouldn't even give it okay, but I'm glad you liked it. And he's saying that it was way worse. I gave the movie a 3 out of 10 and called it the worst thing from SpongeBob in over 20 years. There you go. Dace Avenue says, do you think that Deadpool and Wolverine will age well once the cameos shock and awe fade? No, honestly, I don't. And that was one of the things I was feeling when I came out of the theater was I was like, now that the speculation and the anticipation of who is showing up in the movie has passed over me, I don't think the cameos in this, aside from like say Blade, and maybe Daphne Keene, because it connects to Logan and Logan is beloved and she's beloved in Logan, so maybe that one. But Elektra, no one cares about Elektra. And after Deadpool and Wolverine, we still don't care about Elektra. She had a couple lines of dialogue talking about how her movie, she didn't get a good ending, and then she did terrible fight sequences and shaky cam, and she didn't really do much to the story. So that cameo doesn't really work. The Chris Evans one is still fun, but he's in a movie so small that it's not really a big thing. Whereas, like, No Way Home, I feel like has aged well because those Spider-Man movies, Raimi's, and even the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield, because Andrew Garfield is beloved, I feel like those stand the test of time. And thus, I feel like bringing them into No Way Home, that also stands the test of time and is going to still be beloved. Whereas Deadpool and Wolverine, I think the fun of seeing Deadpool and Wolverine together is still fun. I think the jokes will still get chuckles out of me on repeat viewings. The story is not very strong, though, and the cameos are not characters that I feel like people are like clamoring to get more of because I don't think they were that beloved in the first place. So honestly, no, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is not going to age that great. I think it's still going to be a fun time. But I could see it even going down in my Deadpool ranking. Like, I might rewatch the movies and be like, you know what, Deadpool 2 just has a stronger story than Deadpool and Wolverine, or maybe I like this one. Because it's such recency bias. Like, all these people, and I'm not, saying that they're liars or anything. Like, if this is how they legitimately feel, that's great. I'm happy for you. But it happens with every single Marvel release except maybe the Marvels. Where the Marvel movie comes out, everyone updates their letterbox, they put it on Twitter, they put out YouTube videos, all the MCU movies ranked with blank, and then they put the newest movie in like the top 10 or the top 5 of their entire ranking. And it's like, hey, you know what? If you felt that way, that's great. But that is such recency bias to me. Like, I see a lot of people putting this in the top 10 of their MCU, which again is fine. It's all subjective. I'm not saying they're liars. But for me, this is like a fun time, but it's maybe down. There's 34 MCU movies. It's probably down in the mid-20s, I would probably say, in my ranking. So, but hey, like I said, everyone to each their own. There's some people that as soon as No Way Home came out, they put that as their number one favorite MCU movie the weekend that No Way Home came out. And to this day, 3 years later, whatever it is, some people still have that as number one. So, hey, good for them. The Laser says, I mean, it's not good, but hey, if you want to watch it, don't tell me to stop you. No, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to watch it. You don't have to tell me twice. Chaz Movie says, R.I.P. Steven Hillenberg. Yep, the creator of SpongeBob, R.I.P. The Laser says, it's almost been 10 months since I joined your channel, and what an amazing journey. Oh, man, dude, that is such an amazing thing to hear, man. 10 months. Thank you so much for being with us, being a part of this channel, our channel, for 10 months. All that you've contributed, all that you've done for this channel, man, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to have you here. And, yeah, I hope you stick around, man, because it's been great. Carlos Gabriel, what's going on, Carlos? Thanks for joining us. He says, am I excited for Venom 3? I don't know, but I'll see it. That's kind of what I'm at, too. I thought the trailer was better than I thought the trailer was ever going to be, but I'm kind of in the same boat where it's like, you know what? Am I excited? I don't know, but I'm probably going to end up seeing it because I need to get a review out. The Laser says, help me, Google. You're my only hope. Yeah, you like that, huh? I thought that was pretty fun. I thought that was pretty funny. The Laser says, did you see the Twisters booth at your local theater? Nope, didn't have it. My theater rarely does that. Trez Movies says, random question. Anyone remember the preschool Nickelodeon show Oobi, the one with hands with eyeballs? No, and it sounds terrifying. Let me look this up. Oobi? Nickelodeon's Oobi? Nickelodeon Oobi. Let me put this up before I even look at it so we can have an authentic reaction together. Oobi. Let's go to Emojis and see what this thing's all about. What the heck? Oh, that is a low budget show. That is a low budget show. Oobi. All right. It's literally it's just hands with eyeballs. Wow. All right. Well, oh man, the behind the scenes photo giving away the magic Wow, I wonder how much thought went into this show. All right, well, to answer your question, never heard of it, but thank you for bringing it to my attention. I feel like my life is complete now that I've seen Ubi, or at least images of Ubi. That's very interesting. Dakota Man Movie says, oh, Thor. Yeah, that was great. I loved when he went up to the TVA person too and was like, why is Thor crying? Tell me, please. That was funny. The Laser says, Agatha all along looks like Madam Web with random side characters. I don't think it looks good. It reminds me a lot of like Disney's Haunted House movie. It feels like the furthest thing from Marvel, and it also looks like the most Disney thing they've done. I don't know. I wasn't into it. I wasn't into the trailer. Maybe it'll win me over. I like Catherine Hahn. I liked her in WandaVision. Some of the transitions into like the black and white WandaVision and back was kind of cool, but overall that trailer did not win me over. Trez Movie says the only thing I remember from SpongeBob on the Run is that crazy scene with dancing zombies and Snoop Dogg. You don't remember Keanu Reeves as a tumbleweed? That was iconic. The Laser says, I'll be here till my skin and flesh rots. Dude, that is very, very, very kind of you to say. What an honor. Thank you so much. The Laser says, Ubi, I thought you said something else. Do a favor and look up Ant-Man teaser poster Black Widow. Has Marvel... do a favor and look up Ant-Man teaser poster Black Widow. All right, man. This better not be some gross thing. Ant-Man teaser poster Black Widow. I think I might know what you're talking about. I'm just going to look it up real quick first before I put it onto screen. Teaser Black Widow. Okay. That's not. Is that real? Did Marvel actually put these out? That can't be real. That can't be real. He's in their cleavage. He's standing on it. Oh, my goodness. This one's appropriate. This one's fine. Just Ant-Man chilling there on the gun. That's fine. Let me zoom in on these a little bit. Like, that's okay. That's cheeky. That's cheeky. This is fine. I think Marvel would put that out. This is absurd. That's fake. Like, I can even tell, I think, by the way that Ant-Man looks. He looks so photoshopped. That is fan-made. That's fake. I'm zooming in on Ant-Man. I should actually, you know what? I'm not zooming in there. I'm zooming in on Ant-Man. This one's funny. That's funny. Even if that's fan-made, that's funny. And yes, I see you in there. I think you might have played me there, the Laser, because if my wife's watching the stream, I'm not zooming in on her. I'm zooming in on Ant-Man. Okay. That's funny. I'm getting out of this right now before before I get in trouble. But that's definitely funny. That's definitely funny. The Laser asks, has Marvel fallen off? I would say no, they haven't fallen off. I think that they have hit bumps in the road. But you look at their box office. Like, people like to act like Marvel has crashed and burned. And they haven't, really. I mean, the only real bomb, the only real thing that didn't do well is the Marvels. You could say Eternals in 2021, but the pandemic and all that kind of stuff has still made $400 million. I wouldn't count that one. The only real one that really didn't work out for them was the Marvels. I mean, Wakanda Forever, over $700 million, that's a win. Over $800 million for Guardians 3, that's a win. Like, these are really big, high box office numbers. So, and honestly, I think, like, Thor Love and Thunder isn't as bad as a lot of people give it credit for. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is not as bad, but I can see why some people don't like those movies for sure. But to me, the MCU hasn't gotten, like, this is trash. At least in the movies. Some of the Disney Plus shows have gotten close. But nothing in the movies has really made me go, I hate this. So they're definitely not as strong as they used to be. I don't know if I'd say they've fallen off. Let's see how these Avengers movies do. Let's see how Fantastic Four goes, Captain America goes. Let's see how Thunderbolts does and these Avengers movies go. And then after Avengers Secret Wars, once we're kind of past the Bob Chapek era officially and Bob Iger's era has officially taken over and we've seen what they've done with the leadership back in place, then we'll see. Because that's one of the things people forget about too is the Marvel movies, when people say it's fallen off, that was when Bob Chapek was in charge of Disney and told Marvel, I want this many shows, I want this many movies a year. Kevin Feige, you don't have as much power as you used to. You're going to go through all these levels of management before you can even get an idea put into place. There's a lot of things that went into Marvel Phase 4 and even into Phase 5 with Bob Chapek's rule at Disney that did affect the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, Bob Iger's been back for a couple of years. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is now coming out of the Chapek mandates and era, and we're getting back into the Bob Iger leading era of Marvel, and Kevin Feige has all of his power back. So after Secret Wars, let's go back to this discussion after Secret Wars, because if the MCU's quality hasn't picked up by then I think, yeah, Marvel may have fallen off. The laser is giving, laughing faces. Dakota Man laughing faces. I think the laser, you set me up for that, man. You set me up for that. You're going to get me in trouble with my wife is what you're going to do. The laser says, your wife hears you. I just made divorce rates go up. I hope that wouldn't be the only thing I hope that wouldn't be the thing that does it, but that's really funny. Laser says, out of context clip. Yeah, it would be. Laser says, I print screened a lot. Oh man. Trash Movie says, at least I didn't have you look up the XXS version booby. Oh goodness. Oh man. Yeah, I probably wouldn't look that one up. Ubi's enough for me, man. The Corner Movie says, hope your wife's not watching. Yeah, sometimes he checks in. Sully Streams, what's up, Sully? Thanks for, hey, congratulations, 4,000 subscribers. That is incredible, dude. And congratulations, you're married. I think you're officially married at this point now. So congratulations on all the success, man, in personal life and in YouTube life. You're killing it over there. Great to see you in here, man. It says, how we doing, Zach? I'm not a fan of RDJ as Doom. Seems lazy and rushed to me. Obviously, hope I'm wrong, and it's awesome though. Yeah, look, I don't agree with the sentiment of lazy, depending on how they do it, because it's all about execution, and there is legitimately dramatic and consequential ideas that could, or concepts that could come from this idea that I would be really interested to see on screen if they were done well. But rushing, I completely agree. They're rushing Doctor Doom into the MCU. They're not doing it traditionally. They're doing it with Robert Downey Jr., kind of coasting off of the fame and success that Robert Downey Jr. has already had in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've kind of gone through all this with my pros and cons that we did at the beginning of the show. But yeah, I agree with you with that, with rushing. It's definitely rushing. They want to get this out in 2 years. That's not enough time to establish a Doctor Doom. So just get someone that we already know we love and get him as Doctor Doom. So yeah, there's definitely upsides and downsides for sure. Everyone's excited to see Sully, as you should be. Great guy, great content creator as well. Travis Movie says you should look up the Ubi intro song. I can't play, at least on OBS, I haven't figured out how to do videos properly where I can hear it and you can hear it. So I'm not going to do that. If I was on StreamYard, I might have done that, but I won't do it this time. But maybe next time, my friend. The laser says, my friend Geekly Good says he wanted She-Hulk Season 2, and I told him that he just wanted to clap green cheeks. Dude, why you do Leo like that? Oh, poor Leo. I love Leo. I had the pleasure and the honor of jumping onto a stream with Leo at one point. I think that was about 3 years ago. It was on Zach Guller's channel. And at that point, I was watching Geekly Goods a lot. I haven't watched as much Geekly Goods as I used to watch, but I love Leo Rydell. I think Leo's great. And I had the honor of being on the stream with him on Zach Guller's channel. It was one of the first times I really had like a fan moment where it was like, I watched this guy on YouTube and now I'm interacting with him. So that was really cool. And Leo Rydell has a place in my heart forever because of that. But man, you did him dirty. You did him dirty. That's really funny. I'm not season 2. If they could fix some problems, I'd be into She-Hulk season 2. I'm not gonna write it off completely, but it doesn't look like they're gonna do season 2. And what I will say is I'm not heartbroken about that. The laser says, I told Zach Attack to search Ant-Man Black Widow. You told him to do it too. I wonder if he fell for it. He's probably not as gullible. The laser says, congrats, Sully. Your channel is goated. Absolutely, it is. Thank you for all the congrats. Of course, Sully, you deserve it, man. You work hard and we see it. We acknowledge it. And yeah, you're doing amazing stuff over there. The laser says, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 animatronics get quirky at night. I don't know what the heck that means. I don't know what that means. I'm not looking it up. The View with Drew. What's going on, Drew? Thanks for joining, as always, my friend. It's great to see you in here. What's up? What's going on, Drew? Toxic Gamer says, just dropped in to say hi because tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm hanging out with my friends right now, and tomorrow I'll see you in the next stream, Pizza Time. Well, thank you so much for taking time to just join us for a little bit, man. I always appreciate it that you're giving your time to be here, no matter how amount of time it may be. I always appreciate it. And happy birthday, I guess early birthday to you, Toxic Gamer. You're a staple and a cornerstone of our chat. I appreciate you, man, for always being here, for all you contribute to the channel, and all that you've done for the channel. So thank you so much, man, and enjoy your birthday. The Laser says that comment got 9,000 views. That comment got 9,000 views. I'm not quite sure what you mean. That comment got 9,000 views. I'm not quite sure what we're referring to. I'm sorry. Sully Stream says, happy early birthday to Toxic Gamer. Oh, that's very sweet. Trez Movie says, I released a short this week that got me 26 new subscribers in 48 hours. I got one thing to say. All hail Plankton. Well, that's congratulations on the subscribers, man. That's really awesome. And the Laser says, Toxic Gamer is having an epic bird day. An epic bird day. Sully Stream, Zach, are you watching Trap this week? I'm really not an M. Night fan, but I'm giving it a shot. I'm not the, it's funny because M. Night Shyamalan movies are more miss than hits for me. I really like, well, I think we've done that before, but I really like The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable. I like The Village. I like Signs. I like Glass. I like Split. But I was not into Old. I was not into Lady in Water. I was not into The Happening. Even So Bad It's Good kind of way. I just thought it was kind of boring. Obviously Avatar is a disaster. After Earth was awful. I could not get into After Earth. The Visit was okay. So I do think I like more M. Night films than I dislike M. Night films, but he's one of those directors where even if I know I'm going in and I'm probably going to be disappointed, I'm always curious to see what he's going to do. I'm always curious to see if he's going to pull it off or not. So The Trap does have my attention. We were talking about it a little bit earlier in the show. Last night I went to look for tickets, and my theater wasn't playing Trap. So I was kind of bummed. But I just checked on the show to see if they updated, and they did, and Trap is playing on Friday. So I'm going to go see Trap on Friday. Very excited. The Laser says, best cake. Mine's carrot cake. I like a good old-fashioned either chocolate cake or ice cream cake from Dairy Queen. I love those. The Laser says, Harold and the Purple Crayon looks like Walmart bargain bin. Harold and the Purple Crayon looks like someone watched Shazam, and then we're like, hey, what if we made that but worse? Kind of. I think it's just the part in the store that reminds me of Shazam. No, Harold and Purple Crayon was a short little thing that would come on, I think it was PBS here in Canada or wherever. I don't know if that's a universal thing, but I think here is PBS, and it was like a short little thing that would come on in between Arthur and Cyber Chase and stuff for me. So I never was nostalgically attached to Harold and the Purple Crayon. I even thought as a kid that the whole thing was kind of boring. I don't know why they're doing this movie. I have no idea what in their right mind made them think to greenlight this movie. Is it? I don't see anyone seeing it. Is Harold and the Purple Crayon even an IP that kids know about today? I have not heard Harold and the Purple Crayon until this movie came out. And the last time I heard about him was when I was 3, maybe 4. Do people know Harold and the Purple Crayon? Is he still a thing? Because I don't feel like he should be. The View with Drew says, I'm doing great. I saw Deadpool Wolverine recently. It was awesome. Yeah, man. I'm glad you went and saw that. Glad you had a good time. I had a great time as well. With that, guys, we are at 8:23. We're trying to hit 8:30, and we're at the end of the chat. So that'll do it for this episode of Zach Milne Talks Live. Guys, thank you, everyone who's here contributing to the chat, giving us fun things to talk about. And thank you to Scottish Geek Guy, and thank you to the Ace Avenue for the super chats tonight. Very, very appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Guys, as mentioned before, I don't know if I'll be back next week. I don't know if I'm going to be back in August. If I do have to take August off for Zach Milne Talks Live, I will put out a formal thing and let you guys know. But I will plan to have some pre-recorded stuff done and ready to go for August. So even while I'm moving and transitioning to a new house and dealing with all this kind of stuff, renovations, and I may not have time for this, I'll still make sure to put some stuff on the channel because I feel like, I've been pretty consistent with this channel. I don't want to stop now. And there's always that YouTube thing, even when you're a smaller YouTuber, where it's oh, I gotta give my audience what they want kind of thing. And sometimes it affects me mentally. But either way, kind of going down a rabbit hole now. What I will say is I hope to see you guys in August. If I don't, I'll see you guys for sure in September. There will be content still on the channel, so stick around. I appreciate every single one of you. The Laser, Sully Streams, have a great night as well, my friend. And the Laser, again, thank you for all the laughs, my friend. We'll see you guys again very soon. I'll still say it. Same exact time. Same exact channel. Before we get started with tonight's show, I gotta thank the awesome super chatters from last week's episode, The Ace Avenue and Jason Entertainment. Both of these guys have great YouTube channels of their own. They are phenomenal creators, and